Hello, hello, hello. How are we doing today, my dudes? Oh, patch day, patch day. Quite a big one. Quite a big one. Um, Maybe not as quite as big as 11.1.5, but 11.1.7 is pretty big. We got two new, pretty large changes, to be honest. Or I guess additions to the game. We have the Delve Belt, which is a new best in slot belt that we need to be getting. Kind of like Cersei's Circlet. Thing about Cersei's Circlet, it came out in, what was it, 11.0.7? And it was best in slot after they gave it like last minute buff. Surprise, surprise, surprise. That's exactly what they did with this belt. So I got some last minute big buffs, so it's become pretty good as long as it's your highest item level piece. Obviously simming it, but we'll sim it when we finally get it and have a look at it. Got a few things you need to get for it as well. So it basically comes kind of, it's pretty much exactly Cersei's Circlet, maybe just a bit more simplified, I suppose. It's basically got these enhancements, I guess you can call them, that you put on them, embellishments, whatever you want to call it. And you stick those bad boys on, and then it'll be good for like single target, good for cleave, good for AoE, that sort of jazz. So that's what we're doing. As well as that, we've got the one button assistant rotation thingamabob. I've been testing a bit of this morning, and so like the way I want to look at it is not, is it going to increase my DPS or is it going to lower my DPS? I don't give a fuck about that. All I care about is it good for learning Windwalker? I think is the way I want to look at it from, because look, you know, probably for me it would lower my DPS, but for some people it'll buff their DPS, you know, and be better at learning like mechanics and stuff. So like there's no real point caring about that sort of thing. The thing that matters is people will use this as a way to potentially learn how to play the spec. So I want to see, okay, is this an actual decent way of learning how to play the spec? So there's different ways of running it. So as you can see, I've kind of set up, I've got like a little cheeky setup here so that we can visualize everything. Doesn't, yeah, so I've taken off Bartender. I had to take off Bartender for this specifically because it doesn't quite show this like icon how I wanted it to show. A bit weird with Bartender that it doesn't like show the next ability that you're pressing, or it doesn't like update it, so I'm not too sure about that. As well as that, you kind of need a macro for it. So this icon right here in the middle of my screen is just for visual, for the visual side of things, so you can actually see what it's suggesting you press next. Down here in the bottom right hand corner is the actual one button macro, because you have to make a macro for it that doesn't allow you to interrupt channeling. Otherwise you basically, well, you know all about me and channeling, right? Do not cancel your channels because you're basically stealing damage from yourself. Well, the same thing applies to this one button assistant, where if you don't have a macro for it that stops channeling, canceling channelings, you're basically just going to be constantly interrupting your Fist of Fury. But not at the last second, you'll be interrupting it like literally during its like initial few ticks, which means you're basically getting no damage from Fist of Fury. So you kind of have to make a macro for this if you really want to use it. I mean, you don't have to, right? Obviously, there's no have to do anything, but it's highly recommended. As well as that, we've got a couple of different builds for it. So I've been like testing things out. We've got 4 builds. So the way I want to like break it down is obviously Shadowpan and Conduit. You know, how good is it for learning on Shadowpan? How good is it for learning on Conduit? But then the key differences are to do with cooldowns and no cooldowns, because it doesn't include certain abilities in the one button assistant. This includes things like Zuin. It doesn't cast Zuin for you, and it won't cast Slicing Winds. Those are like the 2 main ones that I could tell so far from like initial testing. Kind of big cooldowns that you kind of probably want to be popping. You know, kind of useful. Zuin is a big one, seeing as it's our massive 2-minute, 1-minute 30 cooldown. And Slicing Winds as well is pretty important to actually be using, you know. We kind of like Slicing Winds, it does some damage. I guess because it's an empower ability, it doesn't actually work too well with it, or they weren't able to implement it. I don't know how evokers are dealing with this, seeing as like on like half their abilities and powers. But unlucky. Hey Dark Angel, how you doing? How you doing? Yeah, so why have I got 4 builds here? So basically, the no cooldown and the cooldown one are 2 ways of doing it, and it's kind of in my mind. I thought, okay, if you're going to be playing this one button with cooldowns, then you're going to want to be using the standard like build, you know, like the actual standard build for that hero talent. Makes sense, right? You want to be popping Zuin, you want to be popping Zuin's Bond, stuff like that. However, if you don't care about using your big cooldowns and all you want to do is just press this one button, spam it, play the game, maybe learn dungeons, learn how to interrupt, learn how to move and stuff like that, then you're going to be losing a ton of damage if you have Zuin on your talent bar, for instance, but you're not actually popping it. So I've had a little bit of a mess around with this, and this is like just, this is not like final talent decisions, but I kind of thought, okay, if I'm just pressing one button, and I don't want Zuin, well, I'm going to take that off my talent bars, right? So I'm not even going to run Zuin at all. And I've tried to, like, basically make a build without it to try and get the most out of the one-button assistant without having dead talents, I guess, in quotation marks. Because if you're not pressing your cooldowns, then you don't want to be running Zuin. You don't want to run Invoker's Delight, because basically you're never going to proc these, because the one-button assistant doesn't use these. Slicing Winds as well. If we go to the one-button... which one is it? Is that one? Yeah, so in a sense, for Conduit as well, right? I made a version of this for Conduit as well, where, because you don't actually press Slicing Winds with the one-button assistant, and you're not running Zuin, I basically dropped both of these, like, 3 talents. Like, 4 talents even. I dropped Zuin's Bond as well, so I was like, well, you're basically going to get no value from any of these. So how can you, like, let's say you want to actually use this assistant to play the game. I wanted to have a look at how you could actually get the most out of it through talents, without completely trolling yourself. So that's kind of the idea for it, but this is very, like, I only did this in, like, past half an hour or so, kind of, like, sorting this out. But I think this is something along the lines of what I'd run if I was just playing this one-button assistant. Things like Lightning for Conduit, Dual Threat, basically a lot more passive talents, or talents that actually work well with the one-button assistant. But I could see this being refined quite easily. So yeah, we'll start off with Shadowpan, no cooldowns, and you'll be surprised, actually. It does decent damage. I was actually quite surprised. That it's actually not too bad, and I think with Conduit, it's a lot more clear that I think it's harder. Like, I guess, with Conduit, I think that it makes mistakes, obviously, but it's maybe not the mistakes you'd think it would do. I think the biggest issue is that it doesn't quite... How do I put it? It doesn't quite hold abilities, right? And what's Conduit all about at the moment? It's kind of about holding abilities, right? Holding abilities for your big windows, or holding abilities for your small windows, or making sure that you send an ability right then so you can have it up for another window. It doesn't take that into account, and that's fine. That's fine for things like Shadowpan, but for things like Conduit, that's a little bit rougher, because then basically... So the best example of this is Storm, Earth, and Fire. The moment Storm, Earth, and Fire is available, this one-button assistant will send it, right? And what's the rule of thumb with Conduit? Well, or I guess Windwalker in general, right? You always want to save the Storm, Earth, and Fire for Zuin. So things like that, I think it teaches you bad habits, but like actual rotation and stuff, it's not too bad, honestly. Like, its priority is pretty smart. It's pretty clever when it comes to, I guess, AoE as well. Like, what surprised me the most is that it prio'd a baseline spinning crane kick over a baseline blackout kick in AoE targets. That's something that I was like, oh, I didn't think it would do that. I thought it'd just end up, you know, pressing blackout kick, because why not? So that was quite interesting. I think it will play a lot better for Shadowpan, because there's a lot less, I guess, holding with Shadowpan, right? With Conduit, there's a lot of holding, there's a lot of, like, actual discipline you need to have with waiting for cooldowns and stuff. With Shadowpan, it's not too punishing to basically be sending on cooldown. There's some instances where you do obviously want to hold a little bit here and there, but Conduit is a lot more punishing. As well as that, I've got, like, 2 passive trinkets. I've dropped House of Cards for this, like, kind of demonstration sort of thing, because I think if you're going for the no clicking anything but the assistant, you're probably not pressing your House of Cards, right? And if you are, like, when are you going to be pressing it? During a Storm, Earth, and Fire? Because we've dropped Zuin for this. So I think 2 passive trinkets kind of make sense. Yeah, let's just test it out. So basically, all I'm going to do is pressing one button, and this icon here will show you the abilities changing, and essentially it will just press it. Interestingly, it seems to always like starting with a Storm, Earth, and Fire. I'm not a massive fan of that, because straight off the bat, I think that already kind of, like, I guess, screws you over a little bit, because you haven't built up any resources. Like, even a Tiger Palm initially would be better. Like, usually you go like Tiger Palm, Rising Sun Kick, Tiger Palm, right, and single target. Or just a single Tiger Palm in AoE. The issue with this is that you're sending out Storm, Earth, and Fire, your big cooldown, so you want as much damage as possible, but you haven't like set yourself up. So basically, you'll be expending a few more Tiger Palms during your big cooldown window. So that's kind of a little bit, It's like a minor thing. Like I'm getting a little bit nitpicky here, but it's just things like that. As well as that, it will touch a death here, like straight away. The moment I walk in, it will tell me to touch a death, right? Because the dummies are low health. Smart, because you will want to touch a death in an actual dungeon. Not great here, because touch a death is really kind of misrepresentative with damage. It does so much damage on target dummies, but just ignore it. Don't worry about it too much. But yeah, here we go. So straight off the back, Storm Earth and Fire into Strike of the Windlord, which is, pretty smart, into Fist of Fury to get the kick, get the value out of that. But as you can see, we're already at like a resource loss because we didn't start building up resources. So now we're going to start building up resources. But the issue is here is that we're building up resources during Storm Earth and Fire. But like generally speaking, it's pretty clever with like its actual priority. Like when Fist of Fury is up, it will send Fist of Fury. Whirl and Dragon Punch up, it sends Whirl and Dragon Punch into Spinning Crane Kick. Like it's not stupid, but I find like the initial, like once you get further in to it, like once you've been doing it like a fair bit, it'll start like getting good. But your initial like opener and stuff, I think is rather weak. So you can see like we've had like we're really bad on resources right now. And it also doesn't like, I guess it doesn't take that into account, right? So you can see that we have a Fist of Fury ready to go, but it doesn't think about it like that. It doesn't think, okay, I need to get to this Fist of Fury as fast as possible, right? In its mind, it sees, oh, higher priority ability is available, so I'll Rising Sun Kick as fast as possible. So I was sat on a dead Fist of Fury for about like 10-15 seconds there. Whereas instead, you should have tried to do your best to get yourself to do that Fist of Fury, right? So if that was a Tiger Palm, Blackout Kick, Tiger Palm, that would have been the best way to do it. Instead it went, Tiger Palm, oh, Rising Sun Kick's up, and I can actually use that Rising Sun Kick instead. But that's kind of not the right thing to do. You want to be getting that Fist of Fury out as fast as, like, possible. So it's clever, but it's also not clever. So, like, there's... I think, like learning mastery and stuff, it's pretty good, right? Obviously, it never presses the same ability in a row. I'm sure that was pretty easy to implement. Once again, you can see Fist of Fury ready to go. It's on 10 stacks, but that doesn't really matter. But you can see it's going to press Rising Sun Kick over trying to build it up instead. Whereas instead, I would have done a Blackout Kick there, Tiger Palmed again to make sure I could get that Fist of Fury out. You know what I mean? So that's like the one downside of it, is it doesn't take that into account. And I guess what I'm trying to get at is that if you're trying to learn through this, that will create like bad habits when eventually like you stop using this. Like, don't get me wrong, but like an assistant and stuff, this is like amazing for like people that actually need it, accessibility wise and stuff like that. That's awesome. But I'm just trying to look at this from a perspective of can you really learn to play Windwalker doing this? And it's a tough one. So I don't know. There's a lot of things that it doesn't do well. Like, damage is low, that's fine, we don't really care about that. I'm looking more at, like, the rotation thing. So once again, it did a Spinning Crane Kick there, and that expended 2 chi, so now we're not able to get to our, Fist of Fury. Once again, it Rising Sun Kicks, it's going to do it again, so we're not able to get to our Fist of Fury. So you can see, like, the issue I'm trying to get at here is that you're basically never using your big cooldowns. And it's, as well as this, it's, like, kind of resource management is a little poor as well. I mean, this could also be to do with talents, right? Because I was, like, messing with a few different talent things. I think... Now, this might sound crazy, but I was actually looking at dropping... I was actually looking at going Inner Peace, right? This is something I tested off before I was streaming, and going Memory of the Monastery. Now, don't get me wrong, Memory of the Monastery is absolutely dog tier. But... going this sort of build with Shadowpan actually seemed to be a bit better in the sense of it was able to keep your resources higher, and I think this is actually a better version of the build. I don't know if you'd actually take Memories of the Monastery. It's just something I was looking at. You can see, like, by trying to go like a build with like kind of like trying to go like the right build but dropping a few of the like fundamentals, you've lost too much. Like losing Invoker's Delight is massive, right? Because that really helps you with your haste management, with your energy management, stuff like that. You basically end up in a bit of a rut. So there's going to be like a little refinement to the talents and stuff that I'll try to come up with before I like... So I want, like, people are going to use this, right? But if people are going to use this one-button assistant, I don't want them, like, taking talents that are basically going to screw them over. I want them to take talents that could basically help them propel their ability as much as possible through this, like, get the most out of it. So... yeah, we're going to take... This is mostly fit in a piece, a Memory of the Monastery. I'm going to try out this one instead of the Shadow Pan. And hopefully this allows us to keep a bit more uptime on, like, resource management, because the resource management is absolutely atrocious at the moment. Alright, roll it again. So yeah, straight off with Storm Earth and Fire. Straight off with Storm Earth and Fire. Alright. We'll see how it goes. So basically, I'm just trying to, like, see how is our resource management working instead. As well as that, I guess damage needs to be looked at a little bit. We're sat at, like, what, about 4 million with the last setup, which is fine. Like, damage isn't too bad, but if you can get more damage out of it, that's good. You probably want to, if you want to play the one-button assistant, you probably want to play it with the most possible damages you can. It's not too, it's pretty smart as well. I do like how it won't cryo a single spinning crane kick if there are better abilities to do. Like, you could see there, I was able to double stack spinning crane kick. On the downside, though, you could see I was on one dance of the Chi-Ji there, and it didn't proc it. It straight up refused to proc my one dance of the Chi-Ji, so I essentially lost a massive spinning crane kick there, because it decided that blackout kick was higher priority for some ungodly reason. Like, even though the spinning crane kick proc was at, like, 1 second left, it was like, nah, bro, you don't need that. We don't need that here. Already, I can feel it being a bit better. We're actually able to get a lot more Fist of Furies off, which I like. To be honest, like, the GCD thing doesn't actually feel that bad, which sounds a bit crazy, but, like, I don't actually feel like I'm losing too much by having an extended GCD. Like, I barely even notice it. I don't know if that's, like, a me issue. It's also not too bad. But you can see straight away with this build, we're able to actually get a lot of our abilities constantly on cooldown, get a nice rotation going. So I think if you're going to play this with Shadow Pan, you probably want to go something like a talent build with a bit more energy. I think a bit more energy regen, or a way to manipulate your energy in a way that you're able to actually weave in abilities a bit more. Because losing Zuin and losing Evoker's Delight is actually so massive. Cannot be understated. Yeah, that was smart. It actually Tiger Palmed instead of Rising Sun kicking there to get off the Fist of Fury, so it did acknowledge that that was possible. But you can see, like, compare it. We switched out 2 talents, right? We switched out Strike of the Wind Lord and Rushing Jade Wind for... what's it called? Fucking... I don't even know. Monastery and... Oh, what's it called? The little pot thing. Basically, the energy regen one. Completely slipped my mind at the moment. You can see how much, like, better this is. Now that we have more energy regen, we're actually able to do our rotation a bit better. On top of this, look at our damage. We've gone up 1 million damage just from switching out 2 talents. So, like, there'll definitely be, like, refinement to the best talent builds, I guess is what I'm trying to get at. It's like there'll be 100% best, like, refinement to the talent builds that you would run if you're just running the one-button macro. But it's not bad, you know? I just think there's a few things, like I think this is fine for playing the game. But I don't know too much about how well it is for learning. I'd actually have to take it into a dungeon environment, to be honest, to give it a proper run. But that's what we're doing a little bit. We'll do that after we get our belt. But you can see it's basically at a steady 5 million damage, which is, I don't know, about 2 million damage less than what you could do without it. But once again, damage is not really the main care here. The care is this actually doing a good rotation? And honestly, I think it is doing a pretty decent rotation now. Like, I'm happy. Like, well, like I'll call out abilities and see if it does what I would do. So blackout kick, rising sun kick, tiger palm, blackout kick. Oh no, okay, spinning crane kick, fine. Spinning crane kick, Fist of Fury. Tiger palm, rising sun kick, blackout kick, tiger palm, blackout kick. Yeah, spinning crane kick. Well, dragon punch, rising sun kick. Okay, tiger palm into rising sun kick also works. Blackout kick, spinning crane kick. I mean, it's pretty on par with what I do myself, to be honest. But you can definitely tell, like, the difference came in the fact that, okay, we've actually got, you know, resources to play with. So, yeah, I guess that's just like a little demonstration to start off with. This is Shadow Pan, by the way. And obviously, Conduit's a lot more, not punishing, but I'd say Conduit's got a lot more problems with learning-wise. But you can see, like, how, like, weird this talent page looks. It is a weird talent page. And that's because I think if you want to use it, you do have to play a weird talent page. What's the best belt damage for Windwalker? The best belt damage is what the bot said. It is single target and cleave, so basically like raid bosses, like lock and stock, or bosses with like ads, so like Gallywix, for instance, or Rick Reverb, you want to go for the charge bolts, and then for AoE M+, you want to go for the spark burst or electric currents, but it's basically depending on what your character currently has, because one of them is haste, I'm pretty sure, and one of them is mastery. I'm 90% sure of that. We can have a look, actually. I've got it up on the screen. Electric, mastery, spark is haste. Yeah, so it depends basically on what your character's current stats are going to be, which one is going to be best for you. So for instance, I'm under the impression that there's a good chance that spark burst might be better for my character because my haste is rather low, whereas my mastery is pretty high. But I wouldn't be surprised if it tells me to go electric current. But charge bolt is gonna be the best one for like single target. Single target. All right. Let's go do the Delve Belt. Let's see what it's all about. Let's see how hard it is to actually get. So I think the only thing that is actually time gated. Oh my god, I can't mount. I'm not on bartender. Oh god, no, why? Please, no. Please, sir, may I mount up? I guess I'll put it there for now. Yeah, so I think the only thing that is time gated is the item level of the belt. I think you can actually get all of the like embellishments day one. I'm pretty sure anyway. You've got to do different delves to do it though. So that's the only thing that like changes. So you start off the quest by talking to our little boy over here, Dagran. What's he like? Also, hold up. Right, I'm going to turn off the screen chat for this. Yeah, so you start off by talking to Dagran, you know, chilling over here with Brown Bronzebeard. So you find Dagran, he gives you a quest called Titan Consoles. Seek out one of Dagran's Titan Consoles in an overcharged delve. Oh, shit, overcharged delve? What the hell's that? I wish I knew. I have no idea. I've done, like, no research into this. So it looks like an overcharged delve is over here. Okay, you can see it's sparkling delve. So I'm not sure if this is, like, the... I was going to say, like, story mode delve. I imagine this is probably going to be the delve for everybody. Is their first one is going to be this one, overcharged. I have no idea what an overcharged delve means. I imagine it just means it's harder, right? And I have no idea if you have to complete it on a, you know, level 8, level 11, level 1. Who knows? I'm sure it will tell us when we get there. All we have to do is get to it. Oh, so is everybody. Everybody in the game's here. That's nice. Alright, Kriegville's Rest. It's on tier 2 at the moment. Ah, okay, you can see it's overcharged. So Titan machinery is mysteriously reactivated. Additional traps and enemies run amok in the delve. It is bountiful. I can do tier 11, and that's still overcharged. I guess my question is, can it be whatever tier you want? I guess you can do a tier 1. So all it says is overcharged Titan console accessed, and tier 1s are, you know, tier 1s are overcharged, and so are tier 11s. I'm going to do a tier 11 just because I can get Delve's Bounty and all this jazz, and I don't do Delves any other time, so might as well, right? So I'll just do a tier 11 for the lols, and we'll do the one button macro thing whilst we're here. Why not? Tier 1 works? Yeah. It did look like that. Tier 1 works. So basically, I'd say like the best recommendation would literally just do tier 1s, right? I'm just going to do a tier 11 because I'm here, and I kind of want to see how this one button macro works in different sort of content. So we're going to keep playing the one button macro. We're going to go with Shadowpan because I think it's going to be the more consistent of the two builds. But we'll definitely try Conduit out today. The idea is that basically we're going to do this belt thing, and then we're going to go do some plus 12s or something and test out the one button assistant in those. Just get some thoughts and opinions on how it plays out in a dungeon. So I guess like the main thing for like dungeons and stuff like that is that it's going to be useful in the way that it will help you like learn how to do movement in a dungeon. As well as interrupts, you know, defensives. Because, like, those sort of buttons aren't on the one-button rotation, you know. If you're targeted by a, you know, magic damage thing, it's not going to tell you to press diffuse magic. You still have to press diffuse magic yourself. It's basically just certain combat abilities, like offensive abilities. But it should allow, like, players that, like, struggle, I guess, with, like, interrupts or CC and stuff like that to focus a bit more on that, movement, dodging. So overall, I do think it's good for the game. I do think it's good for learning. Charge Bolt is bad. Charge Bolt is not bad. Charge Bolt is good for single target and light cleave. So when I say light cleave refers to intermittent ad spawns. So things like raid bosses, right? We're not talking M+ light cleave. M+ is not light cleave. I mean, potentially something like Theatre of Pain, but even then you still have big at trash packs. There might be like some dungeons that it's maybe a bit better in because they have less heavy or less mob dense, but it will need further testing, right? But it's mostly at the moment suggested for things like bosses like Galliwick, Spexy, Brick Reverb. Not Stick Spunk Junker. I'd say Stick Spunk Junker is probably quite heavy ads, so you'd want something like Spark Burst or Electric Current. I finally got a ring to replace Cersei's in the vault. That was a damage increase. Hey, nice Glide Z. I haven't looked at my vault today. Literally, I'm kind of the same as you. All I care about in my vault right now is a ring, but I'll look at that later. Okay, obtain Titan Disc requires 100 Titan Disc shards. I don't even know what that means, Brad. I'll be 100% honest with you. Secure Titan Disc shards and dispatch them. Okay, so we want to get Titan Disc shards. Can I do this? I don't have enough currency. Amazing. Thank you, Brad. You fucking useless. Let's go. All right, so just complete this delve on the overcharged. It shouldn't be too hard. I mean, actually, now saying that, isn't everything harder in here? Maybe I shouldn't have done an 11. Oh, well. I don't need to think. I have a one-button macro to play the game for me. Except I'm stunned. GG. Oh, one thing I didn't consider, right, is because I'm playing Crackling Jade Lightning, you need to be aware, then, that if you're going to use Crackling Jade Lightning as your next ability with this one-button assistant, you need to know that you can't be moving, right? I think that's going to catch people out, especially if you're playing Shadowpad. Because if you don't look at this, like, at the last second and see that Lightning's about to come out, you're about to have a bad time. So far so good. I'm not even like really looking at what abilities it's doing for me, to be honest. It's just doing. So for like people that just want to do like chill delve content and stuff like this, it's gonna be amazing, right? So all I need to focus on. Oh my god, I did accidentally. I pressed spinning crane kick there. Just. Oh, I couldn't help myself. I pressed it like on instinct. I actually just pressed the button. I'm literally just trying to just press the button at the moment. But like tab targeting, maybe click targeting as well. Interrupts. Oh shit, I can focus more on interrupts now. It looks like... another thing maybe is that it looks like it only expends lightning at 20 stacks, which is good practice, right? You probably should only expend lightning at 20 stacks. But there are situations where you don't want to expend lightning at 20 stacks, but... I mean, we can't have everything, right? Like, it's not meant to be... Like, it's not meant to be perfect. So whenever you hear me like saying things like, oh, it doesn't do this, doesn't do that, I'm not like saying it's bad or anything like that. I'm just like trying to think out loud about like what I can like say about it in terms of like learning. So that's all I care about. How does this help you learn to play spec? And I think there's like, a lot of like positive things that it does so far. But there's also some things that I'm a little bit like, you're gonna get some bad habits over this one, boss. But overall, it's pretty good. It allows me to just kind of yap, and you know me, I bloody love yapping. I don't have to think about anything. I'm gonna start running my plus 19s with this. Oh my god. I'm gonna run my plus 19s with this. It's gonna be amazing. I can yap. I can just look at the floor. It will send lightning out now, won't it? Yeah, we'll send lightning out. So yeah, like that for instance, stuff like that. The moment you hit 20 stacks of lightning, it becomes like your highest priority spell, basically. Obviously, it can't consider things like, okay, there's a pack coming up with 5 targets, I'm going to get more value off of that. Like, I'm not expecting it to do things like that, but that will like be things that will make you suffer. If you like want to play it in Mythic Plus and stuff, you will run into those situations where it will fire instantly. So it's just a computer, right? It doesn't think ahead, right? Tettles beat me in a 17 on my DK with the one button, lol. I mean, I don't think it does bad damage. Like, damage is not a thing I think it is too bad at. I think you can actually refine talents and stuff to make it good. Like, right now, you can see I'm not running Zuin. I'm not running Zuin's Bond. I'm not even running House of Cards. Because in my mind, like, if you're just going to press it as a one-button macro, then you might as well, like, get the most out of your talents and stuff. So there'll definitely be, like, refinement and metas to it, which is quite a funny thing. There'll definitely be, like, metas to it. Oh my god, huge lightning! Wow! You think I'll time a 19 with that? Oh, no, I'm just kind of joking around. Although, like, saying that, like, damage is only, like, one thing in M+. Like, it sounds like crazy, right? But actually, like, getting interrupts and mechanics, I think, are so much more important at the keystone levels I'm doing at the moment. Like, if you miss CC, or if you're bad with your movement because you're focusing too much on the buttons you're pressing, you actually run into these situations where you just die. You die, or you let cast go through and people die, and that's going to wipe you more than, like, a couple hundred thousand, like, DPS. So I could see people actually running this, and not getting too bad results. As long as it, like, made them, like, better at, I guess the other things I was mentioning, like just CC and playing the game like that. Mechanics, that's the word I'm looking for. Am I dead? Uh-oh. Help. Help! Oh. Yo, 11s are kind of chill, right? So, I guess the other part of this is this like the new format of delves then? Are like they all meant to be like overcharged? It's like I can obviously see like new mechanics and stuff. These electric pools on the floor were never a thing, right? New mobs, I think, as well. Constructs, I don't think we ever saw before. Is this meant to just be like an additional difficulty to them? Or is this just like a one-time get my belt, GG? Or do my belt weekly, GG? So I've heard that they don't give you better loot, which is probably bad. Like, 'cause I feel like we're at the part of the, I don't know, I guess we're at the part of the season where I reckon they probably should have given you better loot than this. Not Mythic track, but... Oh, am I meant to be losing this? Oh, fuck me. Oh my god, I am as well. Alright, everybody go back. We forgot to loot our Titans. GG! I need to loot them as well, because they're giving me the Titan currency, which allows me to actually complete this delve. Oh, why didn't nobody tell me this? Bran! One job. Does this hurt, then? Oh, okay. What about this one? Oh, okay. Okay, doesn't hurt that bad. Thank you for the follow, Nimbus420i. Appreciate it. I did miss that one. Sorry, I didn't have my my notification sound on. I'll turn that on now, actually. Where are the ads? Oh, here. The one button sucks. I'm using it on Mistweaver and it's just spamming spinning crane kick. Yeah, so, okay, big TLDR, do not use it on healers. There is, like, I'm pretty sure no healer that recommends using it. Because healing is reactive, right? Healing is fully reactive, like, gameplay. Probably one of the harder roles in the game. Obviously, you have to do things at certain times. Like, you have to, like, on a raid boss, yeah, you have to have your cooldowns at certain times. Very specific windows. You need to play the rotation, like, pretty much perfectly to a degree to get healing out, know when to do it. Yeah, the one-button macro is not recommended for healers at all. For the example you just pointed out, it just does spinning crane kick. Like, huh? Like, definitely just a DPS thing or a tank thing. Yeah, do not run it as a healer. Kind of makes sense to a degree, right? So it's not that smart. Like, it's just an APL, right, that basically has priority of certain things in certain situations, but healing is so different to that, right? You'd have to put so much work into that to have it for healers. Like, it would have to take into account, like, certain abilities coming in on bosses, and I don't even know, like, certain damage. It would have to be like, oh shit, Throne Break is coming in, suddenly I have to pop a certain heal or something like that, and there's no way that's ever getting implemented. So yeah, 1,000,000% not made for healers. I mean, you probably could heal with it, but I'd say it's probably the most likely spec to be like, what the fuck is going on? This is not working. My team is dying. Help. Do I think Magar Orc is a good race for Windwalker? Yeah, I do. I think it is the... I want to say it's one of the top 2 races, if, like, you really are trying to, like, min-max races and stuff, for sure. What does it do again? Oh my god, can I do some damage, please. Am I dead? Not my delve. Help! Alright, I'm actually going to press buttons here. Hold up. Hold up. This has gone terribly wrong. I need to press buttons here. He's cheesing. One button macro dead. Yeah, Maga, well, what does it give you? It has a really good racial effect. It either gives you like your highest secondary, I think is what it does. Which is obviously really good, right? It'll give you like ton of mastery, which we like. I think it's up there with Troll. Troll is also pretty good. I think that gives you haste, which is pretty decent as well, right? This is kind of a bad boy. It doesn't really take much damage. Yo, look at this. I can focus on interrupts now and dodging. I'm dead. GG. I actually am dead, right? Oh, presents. Wait, no, they're bad presents. Run. It's this thing over here. It's this thing that keeps CCing me. Could, Fran, would you mind sorting that out, maybe? Oh, no! That's kind of embarrassing. That's alright. Yeah, so, I mean, like, generally speaking, you don't really have to, like, min-max races with Windwalker. Like, obviously, as with everything in this game, there are better races than others. But it's not going to be, like, you're not going to be trolling by going, like, certain races, right? They were, oh my god, words. They're within margin of each other. And they change all the time. That's something you need to consider as well. Like, based on, like, what tier we're in. Maybe, what's valued more, you know, main stat, secondary stat, haste, mastery, burst, crits. Sometimes racials are really, like, useful as well. Like, for instance, in M+, right, a lot of players go Night Elf. Like, the Night Elf racials aren't too amazing. Like, damage racials aren't too amazing, but people play it because it allows them to go invisible and remove themselves from combat. And that allows you to do a lot of skips in M+, or it allows you to basically avoid entire mechanics or stop mechanics going through, stuff like that. So there's a lot of different things to races. It's not just like which one does like the most damage. And you can just go one that's assessing. So I play Void Elf at the moment. Like, Void Elf is probably upper middle of the pack in terms of damage, like how much damage you can get out of it. But I really just enjoy the aesthetic of Void Elf. I like my skin being blue. On top of that, I don't mind Spatial Rift. I think Spatial Rift is good. Probably one of the worst specs to have Spatial Rift on, though, because, like, when at all do we... when at all do we need to use it? There are some instances where you can use it, but the fact that we have, like, insane mobility kind of makes it a little bit pointless at times. But hey, I get 50% off transmogs, so can I really complain? Oh, ripping and... Slicing winds into meld. Have that macroed. You can't macro slicing winds, but if you could, I guarantee that would be like the macro for it. Slicing winds, meld. Slicing winds, straight into meld. Oh no. Alright, this is a big bot. This guy kind of fucks. Oh, don't let him overcharge. Probably what I let him do last time. Okay. I was about to say, am I not going to cast Spinning Crane Kick and single target? Please cast Spinning Crane Kick. Please cast Spinning Crane Kick. You stupid AI. Okay. So there's definitely, like, one of the big things it's happened on the target dummies as well. It doesn't seem to value a single prop Chi-G Spinning Crane Kick, like, at all. Like, sometimes it will, and sometimes it won't. But, like, sometimes it will just straight up allow your Chi-G Spinning Crane Kick to completely die. Like, right now, is it going to do it again? Yeah, it did it again. Like, it was just like, nah, fuck it. We don't do that here. We don't need that. we don't need a Spinning Crane Kick. That's pretty bad. Because you really need to be getting those off. It is, I think, our highest hitting ability. Like, out of its single press ability. Probably Fist of Fury, actually, but up there in our top 2, like, highest, like, single button press abilities for damage. So not getting a Dance of the Chi spinning crane kick off is kind of troll in single target and AoE. So that's something I'm not too big of a fan with it, that it will just allow it to drop off. It's not even like it's prioring like Fist of Fury over it. It will prior things like Blackout Kick. A baseline Blackout Kick, it will go, nah, that's more important, boss. Yeah. This button right here? No, you need to be doing that. So that will create some bad habits. So like, I'm trying to look at it from a perspective of, okay, I've never played Windwalker before. I want to learn Windwalker. I'm just starting this. Okay, so what have I just learnt there? When this button glows, it's not actually that important to press it. I can press it. Like, look. Oh, it's glowing. Oh, I guess I don't have to press it all the time then. I guess the glow is an optional press, right? It's fucking not an optional press. You need to be pressing that. You know what I mean? So that's kind of bad. It pros literally everything over it. Which is fine when it's one stack. But it still needs to get it off, right? Like, that's fine that it does it like this. But it's the fact that it doesn't do it. So right now, I don't think it will do it again, right? Yeah, Blackout Kick over, Whirling Dragon, Rising Sun Kick. And then once again, yeah, I lost a stack. Because it will not press it. So this is... this needs fixing or tweaking in some way. Because essentially I'm losing a ton of damage. Like, you can see here, I'm getting no spinning crane kick damage off. And if we look at, like, overall for dungeons and stuff, where does all your damage come from? It's spinning crane kick, my dudes. Like... So I'm really not a fan of this. And I thought maybe it was... I don't know if it's just a single target thing. I mean, we'll try do it again. Ah, so it looks like it might just be a single target thing. Or like less than 3 targets potentially. Because right there, I had the exact same situation where I could have done a Blackout Kick. But as we learned on the target dummies, it prioritizes spinning crane kick over Blackout Kick at more than 3 targets. So, what's that going to mean? Well, it's going to do the exact same thing regardless of Chi or not. It will, So that looks like how it's, like, works. It goes, how many targets are near me right now? More than 3? I spinning crane kick. Less than 3? I Blackout Kick. It doesn't seem to be taking into account procs. From the looks of it. Obviously, I've only been playing it for, like, what, half an hour? But that's kind of what I'm gathering. What just happened to my... Okay. So look, we're 2 targets now. Well, okay, it takes into account procs when you're at 2 stacks. But once again, look, we're on single target now. Let's see if it actually does it. That's going to hurt. So Rising Sun Kick. It will do Blackout Kick. Tiger Palm into Blackout Kick. Yeah, into Blackout Kick, into Rising Sun Kick. We just lost a Dance of the Chi. So it will not do a... Unless you're at 2 Dance of the Chi stacks, it will not send out Spinning Crane Kick. Which is kind of insane to me. That's ludicrous, actually. So that teaches really bad practice. Because what have I learned here? I'm brand new to Windwalker. What have I learned? If this button glows, but it's not at 2 stacks, never press it. 2 stacks is all that matters, and that is not correct at all. Fair though. Write that one down in my notes. Hold on, let me get a notepad. Bad spinning crane kick practice. Lol. One stack. Single target. What else don't we like? We'll keep adding to the list. We'll keep adding to the list. That's the most important thing, not gonna lie. 50% is a big win. So Shadowpan's better for Windwalker. No. Shadowpan's not necessarily better for Windwalker. I think that Shadowpan... The reason I'm playing Shadowpan right now with the 1-button macro is I think that it's better with the 1-button assistant, if that makes sense. I probably need to do this. Because Conduit... Do I need to get all of these? Holy shit, what's this? The thing with Conduit is there's a lot of like discipline to Conduit and understanding your burst windows. So there's a lot of holding abilities, right? Like you need to hold Storm Earth and Fire. You need to be holding things like Strike of the Windlord for up to like 20 seconds odd. What's this 1-button assistant not going to do? It's not holding cooldowns for you. It hasn't got that into account because it doesn't need to. It's not designed to play the game for you in that way. It's not designed to like take over the place of, you know, like actually pressing the buttons yourself. That's not what the idea is. The idea is for more accessibility, as well as, I guess, learning to an extent. But the issue there is that you don't actually learn the good practices as a result of it. So when I play Conduit, the big issue is going to be that I'm going to end up at a lot of the time with no Storm, Earth, and Fire for my Zuin, no Storm, Earth, and Fire for my Conduit, no Storm, Earth, and Fire for my Striker, the Windlord, and that kind of sucks because you need those. Like, those are the reasons. Those are what makes your burst window so good. Whereas Shadowpan isn't as reliant on its on big cooldowns. Like, don't get me wrong, Shadowpan likes Zuin, and Shadowpan likes Storm, Earth, and Fire, but it's not as reliant as Conduit is on getting like damage out by having everything lining up perfectly. So that's why I'm playing this at the moment, to get a good idea on this one. Because this is the one that I would suggest that people, if they want to use this one button system to learn Windwalker, not just to like play the game without having to care, right? Like, that's a completely different thing. This is the one that I'd recommend, like Shadowpan 1,000,000%, to get like fundamentals down and to understand like priority. Because there's a lot of things that are good, right? Like, it does the priority really well in a lot of situations. And it's good at balancing your chi, and it's good at balancing your energy as well. You know, Fist of Fury's up. What's it going to press? Fist of Fury. Good bot. Good AI. We like that. Low energy, high chi. We'll send out some chi abilities. Low chi, high energy. Send out more Tiger Palms. Like, it is doing a lot of things like that. But it also is doing things like, will not send out my spinning crane kick here. You want to hold Zuin for the next dungeon? I mean, shit. I'm not even running Zuin. Uh-oh. Yeah, I'm not even running Zuin, because I wanted to try this out in its, like, purest form. Because it doesn't press Zuin for you, for instance. Like, there's two versions of this. The one version is, I only want to press this one button ability, and I don't want to do anything else when I play the game. And the other version is, I want to press my other buttons, but I don't want to do my basic rotation, right? I want to be like sending out major cooldowns, and I want to be pressing defenses and interrupts and stuff. So this is it in its purest form, the form where I'm doing nothing but like left clicking, basically, is my like keybind for this. And because of that, like, this doesn't send out Zuin, it doesn't send out Slicing Winds, and so because of that, I've dropped them. I'm not even running them with this build. There's just absolutely no point running them with this build at all, because they're just dead talents. So like what I was saying at the start of this delve, there'll actually be a meta for this one button assistant with talents that you take and talents that you don't, depending on how you want to play it. And I don't think this is final, but something along these lines would be like how I would genuinely play Shadowpan without running Zuin, right? If you don't, like, if you literally don't care about wanting to press this on any other of your buttons, or maybe you can't because of accessibility reasons, I don't know. Well, there'll still be talent builds that are available to you. But no, to answer your question, generally, Conduit is better. Especially in the raid. Conduit's better in the raid at the moment. By quite a lot. Okay, well, wow, bountiful copper. What we get? Wow! That's so bad! What the hell is this? Ooh. What about M+? Are they pretty close? Yeah, in M+, they're, like, really close. There's, like, a fair few variables that go into it, but, like, if we're talking, like, plus 10 keystones, plus 12 keystones, anywhere, like, in that range, anything below that range, you know, all the way up to maybe, like, even 16s, actually, to be honest with you. Like, you could run whatever you want. And they'll do decent damage. Like, some dungeons you might do better as Shadowpan, some dungeons you might do better as Conduit. The main things I think that go into it are more your routing of the dungeon, like how your tank pulls. Like, is he doing like massive pulls? Is he doing like weenie pulls? I think that actually plays more of a part. But like generally speaking, they're both really close to each other. I play Shadowpan in a lot of my dungeons. I play Conduit in a lot of my dungeons. Like, they're both pretty good at different things. Okay, so we finished that. We came back to the start, and now we get this quest over here. Obtain Titan Disc, so we're going to hand this one in and get... Okay, we're going to hand that in and get a pouch of shards. Don't know what the fuck that means. And then we get another quest that says, restore the Titan Disc and then spend it to unlock one of the starting nodes in the overcharged console tech tree. What the fuck is that? So we need to create a Titan disk and select a node. So obtain Titan disk. I don't have enough currency. Okay. All right, so we're in the Titan console right now. The fuck does this mean? What the fuck is this? I got something in my bags. Dagran, help! What the fuck? What's a cracked keystone? What is going on? Create a Titan disk. Huh? Oh, okay. So we created... Okay. We created a Titan disk, and now we can choose one of these. Right. Your damaging abilities have a chance to cast Titanic Pyroblast, inflicting fire damage and stunning the target. Suffering damage has a chance to conjure a storm, inflicting... Is this just for delves? Before I make a decision, does anyone know, is this literally just for delve? This isn't going to affect my belt, right? Like, I can pick whatever that I want, and I'm not going to rip bozo my belt. I like Shadowpan, I like Lightning, and the more simple rotation. Yeah, no, exactly. I'm a big fan of Shadowpan and Lightning as well. I think it's a lot better for, like, learning Windwalker, getting grips with the fundamentals. So I play Shadowpan a lot, and even though, like, it's the... I guess easier one, like, that's good. It's better to it's better to not have like two hero talents that are over complex or have a lot of like different rules to them and stuff. Otherwise then it's really daunting trying to get into a spec, right? And suddenly you've got to like learn two like crazy different things for two different hero talents. Like Shadowpan's just kind of like the chill version of Conduit. Just for delves? Okay, we don't care, we're taking that one then. So you can take any two of these and oh look, you can switch. Wow, cool. Alright, give me my belt. We have another quest. Durable information storage container. This is the belt. Disk, for short. Destroy 4 overcharged pylons and complete an overcharged delve to charge the device. You will receive the belt at 691. Oh, 691? Well, yo. Well, I guarantee you this is probably going to be an upgrade then. Interesting, interesting. Alright, well that's cool. So this is like the weekly quest that you're going to get, I think. The overcharged chest or something like this. It looks like it'll be along those lines. Alright, so we got to do one more delve, and we got to destroy some pylons. So I'm just going to do a +1 delve, to be honest. And we'll go conduit for this one, so I can kind of like show you what I mean. So we're going to go the version of the build that doesn't require you to use external or extra cooldowns. So no Zooing, no slicing winds. This is the freakiest conduit build you're ever going to see. But if you're running the one-button macro and you don't want to be pressing other buttons, this is probably the build you want to run. I'll be honest with you. Like, because otherwise you're trolling. If you're taking Zooin, you're taking Invoker's Delight, but you're not pressing Zooin, well then, you know, like, what's the point? So, freakiest conduit build you've ever seen in your entire lives, but there's method to the madness. We'll run tier 1. So yeah, like, once again, I do find it really weird that the first... Oh, can I run this one again? Yes, it's overcharged, fine. Yeah, I guess the weirdest thing is that it, for both, it's just Windwalker in general, it always says Storm, Earth, and Fire first, which is just... I just think that's bad practice. In fact, actually, put it on the notepad. Storm, Earth, and Fire first, suggestion. Always, regardless of cheat. We're going to do the bad. I'm going to do the good. The good is rotation is pretty smart, actually. Good priority. So we got one good so far, 2 bads. That's fine. But I do not like that it makes you do Storm, Earth, and Fire first. Like, because you just end up in this situation where you don't... Well, it makes you touch death first, obviously. Did it just pop conduit? What the fuck was that? What was that? What a crazy opener. My opener just then was touch of death into Storm, Earth, and Fire into conduit. That was nuts. Interesting, interesting, noted. I don't know why it did that. Oh, everything's dying too quickly. We need to destroy these pylons, and then we're just going to speedrun this. Yo, how you doing, my dude? Alright, so this one's for the belt, basically. So basically, I guess to get the belt, all you have to do is run 2 overcharged delves. That is literally it. So nothing too bad. I mean, they've got a bit more difficulty to them, but I'm just not sure. Like, what is my... Like, what's compelling people to run this content other than to get the belt, right? Like, because at the end of the day, why do people run content? For loot? Yes. For fun? I guess it's a bit more fun. It's a bit more challenging. So it has that going for it. But loot-wise, I'm pretty sure the loot is the exact same as, like, any other delves. So I ran the 11, right? And it was just... It was whatever. I don't know. I feel like this late into the season, if they're bringing out something like this... My conduit just cancel itself with my 1-button macro. This fucking game, honest to God. Any idea what belt buff is the best? Yes, whatever the, yeah, what the bot basically said is that you want to be going charge bolt or single target or light cleave. Light cleave, for example, are things like intermittent ad spawn boss fight, so think Galliwix, think Vexy, think Reverb, that sort of thing. And then you'll either want to be going Spark Burst or Electric Currents for AoE / Mythic Plus. It's going to depend, though. That's going to be based on, like, you'll have to sim yourself for that one. Because one of them gives you haste and one of them gives you mastery, so that's going to really be dependent on which one of those two your character basically needs the most at the point. Right? So everyone's character is going to have a different amount of mastery, a different amount of haste. So which one is going to benefit you more is like, only a sim can really tell you that. See, that's what I like. I like the fact that it did I like that it opened with Strike of the Windlord. That's what I want to see. Which it was doing a lot on the target dummies. When I tested this earlier, I thought its rotation was actually rather clever. Because a lot of the time it does actually just open with Strike of the Windlord. I don't know why it did Conduit that one time at the start of this delve. But usually, when it has Strike of the Windlord and Conduit available, it will Strike of the Windlord first. Yeah, as it just did then, right? And I think that was like my biggest worry, actually, with how this was going to work with Conduit, was that it was going to Conduit before it Strike of the Windlord, right? And in my mind, I was like, there's no fucking... Like, that's going to be a horrendous for Conduit, because you have to do the Strike of the Windlord heart window first. Otherwise, you essentially lose an entire heart window. But it actually is smart enough. It's something in its APL says, when striking Conduit up, you strike first. And I like that. I'm a big fan. Because that's really good practice. In fact, that's going in the good. Conduit tells you to strike the wind... Oh my god, words. Strike of the Windlord over Conduit. Big thumbs up. We really like that, because that is a fundamental way of playing Conduit, is that you have to go Strike of the Windlord, Conduit, Strike of the Windlord. If you go Conduit, Strike of the Windlord, you are essentially... Well, you're essentially just losing a massive, like, window of damage, and we don't like that. So what's Conduit all about? It's all about windows of damage. So essentially losing, like, one of your windows of damage is a big no-no. I'm not even going to lie, this is the most annoying delve of them all. I don't know who created this delve. Whichever dev did this and created these things, the summoning candles that create the little ghouls that come out and CCU, yeah, they need to go to the gulag. They need to go straight gulag. Because they're just horrendous. Oh my god, this is so much easier. This just in. Tier 1 delve easier than Tier 11 delve. More at 5. Alright, so we've done our 2 overcharged, so we should get the belt now. However, that is not the end. There's still a bit more we have to do. But overall, I think, realistically, for this belt, you can probably get everything done in like 20 minutes. 10 minutes if you're fast, I guess. If you just do tier 1 delves, you can probably complete both of those in 5 minutes apiece, and then get your actual... Get the actual embellishments that you want in like 5 minutes as well. It's really quick, is what I'm trying to say. Alright, so we've done this, and now we need to go to Dornigal. Off I go, then. So yeah, we'll have a look at the overcharged chest, because this is weekly, right? So this will be your weekly chest. As you can see, it contains a piece of champion gear. I really think at this point they should be giving you hero pieces of gear in these. Like, otherwise, why am I doing my overcharged delve weekly? Like, obviously for my belt upgrade, yeah. But like, why else am I doing overcharged delves? If it gives me the same same loot and stuff, surely I'm just gonna do my undercharged delve. I don't know. Okie dokie, we got a belt. So this is the belt. On its own, it sucks. It has an equip on it. Your spells and abilities have a chance to turn into a lightning rod, striking a random enemy target within 40 yards. 3, 8, 8, 3, 9, 6 nature damage every 3 seconds for 15 seconds. How do we use it? Help, how do I use this? Use to open the device. Let me use it! So I'm pretty sure this is the charge bolt. This is the charge bolt one, the one that you want to use for single target or light cleave. And it sounds exactly like that, right? It's just it shoots a lightning rod, you know, hitting random enemies for nature damage. So really good for single target. It reminds me of it's literally thundering, crackling citron or whatever it was. What was the Cersei circlet one called? It was like crackling citron of thunder of fucking single target bullshit. It's the exact same thing. Right, shoots out lightning bolt. Shoots out lightning bolt, yeah. Nature bolt, whatever. Why can't you sell the belt? Yeah, instantly gets belt, destroys it. GG. Alright, so you right click it once it allows you to, and you can see charge bolts, cauterized bolts. Can I do? No, I can't. Oh, that's gonna look pretty shit. Oh well, unlucky. Yeah, so durable information, securing container. So you right click it and then you get your options. And look, I've only unlocked 2. Cauterizing bolts is for healing. Charge bolts is for damage. Obviously, Windwalkers, we kind of prefer damage. I mean, you could go healing if you want, but that's kind of like, that's freaky. We don't do that. What else do we want? Well, luckily, it actually tells you where everything is in-game. So you don't have to go to Wowhead, everybody, you know. Let's, hold on. Everybody turn off your WoW heads. We don't need this shit. We're doing this in-game style. What we want is we want electric current, which is a potential good one. And we also want spark burst. So spark burst was lost in fungal folly, and electric current was spiral weave. I have no fucking idea what spiral weave is. It's probably one in the spider zone, obviously. So we're going to go get Spark Burst first. So Spark Burst is the haste one, and I think Electric Current is the mastery. Realistically, if you want to, you can collect them all. You know, like Pokemon, go around, collect them all. But realistically, all you need to do, like at a minimum, is get Spark Burst, get Electric Current, and that's it. So, like, for a Windwalker, all you need to do if you want to, like, be fully kitted out on all of the embellishments, we're going to call them embellishments, and all the embellishments that you actually need to do all content right now, you need to do 4 delves in total. You need to do your first quest one that you got from Dagran. Then you run that one back. You basically just do it again, and that gives you the disc belt. Then you go to Fungal Folly, and you get your Spark Burst belt. And then you go to Spiral Weave, and you get your Electric Current belt. So 4 delves in total. That's all you need. Yeah, that's all you need. GG. Where's this chest? Where are me chest stats? Right, so the overcharged chest. Let's see if it's all that it was, like, hyped up to be. Give me some good loot. Fucking dog shit. Amazing. So yeah, that's what I mean, right? Like, at this point, like, champion gear is just like, just give me hero gear, bro. The tier's almost over. We're literally in the void already. It's season 3. Come on. Let me get some hero gear on my ult. But that's just not how it works. We need to get Fungal Folly. Where is it? That one's just down here, isn't it? Oh, interesting. Can I do it when it's not overcharged? I'm going to say probably yes, right? Probably isn't an overcharged thing, because a lot of these delves aren't overcharged. So I'm going to say yeah. Yes, yes. Okay, we got a lot of yeses. we got a lot of yeses. Says in the tooltip as well. Ah, but you got to understand, I don't read tooltips. But no, thank you. Appreciate it. Oh, it's so annoying because I don't have my mounts on my bars because I'm not playing with Bartender right now. I have to, like, drag them all on. Oh, pain. Dastardly duos, lol. I'm actually going to fly by there and see if there's a single person sat outside real quick. So I'm curious if anybody is still doing this content. Oh, I was so hyped for this thing. Hey, look, there's fucking nobody here because this is dead content. Surprise. Released a week ago, by the way, 2 weeks ago. Not a single person here. Why is that? Because it's shit. There, I said it. I was so excited for this. I thought this was going to be really fun, and I was hyping up for weeks. I was like, oh my god, Dastardly Duos, this is going to be so fun. You can challenge yourself, do fun content, get cool cosmetics, like actually like a fun game mode that they put in. What is it? It is kill mobs inside of circles that you stack on circles, that you stack on circles, that you stack on circles. It is shit. I'm sorry, they could have been so creative with this. They could have done like so many cool things. Like if they wanted to make a cool little arena where you got power-ups and stuff, they could have done that, right? Like, you kill certain mobs, you get certain power-ups. If they wanted to do something like that, that would have been so cool. What is it? Kill these mobs inside this circle. What's this? You've got another circle? You got to go push... Hey, no, get out my... I'm trying to... No, hide this man. He can't be here. Hey, everybody get out of here. I'm trying to say that it's dead content. Hold on, zoom in. Literally dead content. No one on the high scores. But my point still stands, right? Like, they could have done so much more of this. It's literally just stack things inside of circles. I don't know. I just... I'm only upset about it because I really wanted to like do some stuff with this. I thought it was gonna be so cool, and it's just not what I thought it was. Oh well, moving on. Oh well, moving on. Instantly dead content. I farm a lot of achievements and stuff, and I haven't touched the Dastardly Duos because it looks dog. It is, honestly, it is. I wonder if there's any groups for it as well. Custom. Maybe. If I spell it right. Uh-oh. Duo? Uh-oh. Questing, maybe? Oh my god, guys, it is fully dead content. Look. DD? Duo? Oh, duos. But that might be PvP or something. But you see what, like, my point is? Like, there's no one there doing it. There's no real groups for this. Like, I'm not saying it's dead, but, like, it's, like, no one's doing it because it's not good. It's not fun. It's not good. Like, and that sucks. It could have been so cool. And I know, like, a lot of work went into it. I watched that, like, video that they released. Did I do this on tier 1, by the way? So I just pressed tier 1. But I know, like, a lot of work went into it. And it's a really cool concept, right? In an arena, fighting bosses from the past, getting point system. But its execution is so... Oh, so rubbish. Tier 1's fine. Cool. Like, I keep saying it, but the fact that all you're doing is stacking circles is just insane to me. Like, there's no way someone... Like, oh my god, look at this! Yo, they've pimped out this delve! This never used to be like this. This used to be, like, bad things here. Is this new? New content for me? That's kind of cool. 3 drill rigs fully powered. Am I... What is a cracked keystone, by the way? Complete any dungeon on Mythic 2 or higher. Okay, I can do that. Do I need to find it? Is it, like, hidden? Is it, like, secret hidden spark? How do I do this? Well, that's not working. Just complete the delve. Right, okay, it's that easy. Excuse me, drill rig. Would you charge? I guess I need batteries. Deliver the battery to a dig site. Oh, I've got to do 3. Oh my god, no. Batteries? Anybody got batteries? Battery? Nope. Oh my god, there are no batteries. GG. Am I crazy? Oh, they're holding them. Oh, he's holding a battery. Come here, you. Can I use abilities whilst I hold this? Wait, where is it? Oh, I have it. Thank you for following Welton Varter and The Bricken. I butchered both of those names. I do truly apologise. You've got to understand I'm British. It's just not my fault. I love jumping into a pack of ads and my character's first thought is I'm going to press conduit. Oh my god, I love it. Okay. That's that done, I guess. More batteries. Oh, they're here. Okay. Oh, no, roll! How's the one button thing going? It's going alright, to be honest. There's some pros, there's some cons. But I'm trying to look at it as in, like, not from a how much damage is it doing perspective, and more of a how you can learn Windwalker through it, as, like, a new player. And I think there's some really good things with it, but I also think there's some, like, bad things with it. Like, I think it, like priority and rotation, I think it teaches really well. But at the same time, I think that it also, like, gives you some really bad habits on things like pushing certain buttons. Like, if I was a brand new player to this game, my initial thought would be that I never press spinning crane kick in single target, basically. Which is completely wrong, right? You press spinning crane kick when it procs, but the AI hates it. It will not do it unless it's at 2. So you essentially just lose a lot of damage because of that. Yeah, but there are some good things, right? Like, one of the things I really like is that if you got Strike of the Windlord and Conduit up at the same time, it will press Conduit first. Strike of the Windlord first, as it did just then. Like, it really, really thought just then about pressing Conduit. Like, you saw the image pop up for a sec, and then it was like, no! I must Strike of the Windlord! And it did it. So that's good. That's clever. We like that. I'm gonna once I've finished off of this belt stuff, I'm gonna go into some like dungeons and just mess around with it, see what it's like in a dungeon environment. But 100%, I think it works better with Shadow Pan, which is probably what most people would have thought, to be honest. Because Shadow Pan's a little bit more simple. Like, I wonder if their plan is to, like, update this over time, or to keep putting out, like, better APL implementations, or if this is just this is what it is. Maybe, like, every tier they update it, or if it's, like, a constant thing they're going to do. I don't know. We'll have to see. I'd like them to constantly work on it, though. It depends what they want from it. Because, like, it's the thing where it's like, you can't make it do too much damage, otherwise everyone will just use it, right? Obviously, that has to be considered. But at the same time, you don't want to make it, like, too unsmart? Dumb, I guess, the word? You don't want to make it, like, too dumb, otherwise people that actually want to use this to learn end up not learning. Did I just conduit an egg? Okay. Okay. Makes sense. Shadowpan leans better into it. Yeah, I mean, it would, right? Just on the basis that Conduit, for instance, Conduit has a lot of, like, things where you have to hold cooldowns, for instance, things like that. And it's not programmed to hold cooldowns. And I wouldn't expect it to be. It's pretty much designed as a, what is my highest prio ability right now with my current situation. Okay, so we finished Fungal Folly, and now we've got Miniature Titan Disc Spark Burst. So that's all you have to do to get Spark Burst. These things are, like, really easy to do. So we'll activate that. We have it. There wasn't much of, like, an animation for it. But you can see now we have Spark Burst. So if we change this to Spark Burst, we can now see that my equip has changed. Your spells and abilities have a chance to trigger a Spark Burst, granting you 5,435 haste for 20 seconds. So this is one of the good AoE ones. And you can change this at any time. My question is, can you change this in an M+? Because if you can change this in an M+, that's kind of crazy. I'm going to say that probably not. I'm going to say that there's no way you can change this in M+. But if you can, abuse it early and often, because that's busted. Like, cause if you can, yeah, you Spark Burst attacks, and then before you pull a boss, you just go Charge Bolt, and you are min-maxing M+. I imagine the moment you try to, though, it will say no. They've definitely thought of it, right? You'll be able to change it in raid though. That'll be fine. But I don't even think this will load up. This thing here. Sword Turtle's time is 17 motherload. As top overall damage using one button as boomkin. Yeah, I mean, I don't know, a little bit misleading, right? I mean, like, let's be real. You can cherry pick any video. I could do the exact same thing, right? Where I could literally invite a bunch of players that I know aren't going to do as much damage as me, and then top meters, right? Or you know, it's easily influenced. I'm not saying that you can't top meters as the one button macro, but I'm saying take it with a grain of salt. It, I could do the exact same thing, right? And I could make a group for a plus 17 and invite people that I know are not going to do as good damage as me because their score's lower, but I know that will time the key. Or I could take people in and say, guys, just play pretty poorly or whatever, you know, just do your thing. And I'll top the meters, and then I can post a video and go, one button macro, insane on Windwalker Monk. Please play this. Wow, look how I top the meters. But like, it's so easily manipulated. Yeah, I don't know. It just seems a bit like, okay. Okay. I really don't know what the point of the video is. To show that it's good, I guess, is what it's trying to highlight, which isn't, like, I feel like that just looks at it the wrong way. It's not meant to be about damage. I don't know. It's why I'm trying to look at it from the completely different perspective. Fuck the damage, who cares? How does this help players? Because people that know how to play their spec are probably not going to run this in raid and stuff. They just aren't. Unless it was ungodly broken and obviously was the best thing to run, then they'd run it. But that's not how it's been designed. This is for players that are learning a spec or are switching. For instance, let's say I make a warlock tomorrow, and I'm like, I have no idea the first thing about warlock. For me, for instance, I love to learn through leveling up a character. However, if I have a one-button rotation for me, maybe I could use my boost and press this one-button rotation and get an idea of what I should be pressing in order. And that's what why am I going to the raid? Holy shit, I'm so dumb. You get what I'm trying to say? Like, I'm trying to see how this is as a learning tool rather than a how good is this button, like, can I 99 pass with it? Like, because realistically, you shouldn't be able to. And if you can 99 pass with this, then they need to nerf it. So it shouldn't be better than people actually like playing the game. Otherwise, then that feels bad for those players, because then they're like, well, why should I not? I'll just use the one button rotation, right? This should be for people learning, or people that need extra assistance and stuff, accessibility, things like that. Maybe that they need to play with a controller, or you know, they can only play with like one hand or something. I don't know, things like that. You know what I mean? Like accessibility. This is amazing. This is a really cool feature. It's not meant to be for damage, and like videos like that are literal rage bait. Like they are. They're such rage bait. Oh, it's just for clicks. It honestly is. 1,000,000% for clicks, because people will see that I top damage meters with my one button macro. What are people instantly going to go on Reddit about? Guys, this one button macro's broken. This is unfair. How's this look like, you know, shit like that? It's just like, no, it's not. It's just, oh, piss off. You literally know what you're doing. Anyway, yeah, I don't care that much, but you get my point. It's just like, fuck off. Like, when in Thunder Folly is the disc, it's just by looting. Yeah, all you have to do is finish it. That's all you have to do. All you have to do is finish it, and then you get it at the end. It like literally just drops in your bag. You might even like not even notice it. Because I didn't. You don't get like a quest completed or anything like that. Because you basically just collect them. But yeah, all you have to do is finish a Fungal Folly on tier 1 or higher. How do I load this? What is actually going on here? Hey ho, just wondering, does disc fragments drop higher amounts of difficulty delves? Ooh, that's an interesting question, actually. I actually don't know. I did a tier 11, and I got enough. How many? Let's have a look, shall we? How many disc fragments are they in my bag? Disc shards. I have 79. I'll check actually. Like I don't actually know. It's hard for me to judge. I probably should have kept an eye on that actually, because I don't quite know. Because I did a tier 11 to start off with, and I got enough to finish the overcharge. But I imagine all you had to do was one anyway, right? They probably didn't want you to do like 500 of them. I'm gonna say, if I had to guess, I'd say probably yes. I'd say that I'd be super surprised if they didn't reward you for doing higher tier delves with more discharge. Because obviously, I imagine what you're trying to do is get maxed out on your tree, right? That's what they're for. So if I had to guess, I'd say yes, because I'd hope that would be the way that it works, right? You kind of hope that is how it works. But I could easily see it not being the case, and I could easily see tier 1 delves just being run 'em. There might also be a world where there is actually more. You might actually get more from running the higher delves, but it's faster to just run the lower ones. Because if you're just doing a tier 1, you do this so quickly if you have a character that's relatively geared. Yeah, so completely didn't answer your question because I don't know the answer. Sorry. Sorry. On tier 8 delve, it's about 70 to 80 per run, was just doing belt on a few ults. Okay, I will... Okay, if that's how it is on tier 8, I'm in a tier 1 right now, so I'll finish this and see what I guess at the end, and we can actually work it out like that. Because this shouldn't take me too long, I don't think, although I haven't collected a single relic to pick up, which is clever. I don't think these guys drop them, do they? Unless they do. No, I think it was just in the first one that they dropped them. Yeah, because it was in the first overcharged delve they dropped them, but I think that was because it was the overcharged delve, right? Ooh, I guess the question is, do you have to do it in an overcharged delve? Because this isn't an overcharged delve. Probably right. Yeah, I'd see them giving it to you. As you can probably tell, I don't delve a lot. I really do not delve a lot. Delving is not my forte. Oh, it's only overcharged. In that case, then I won't be able to tell you from this because the only overcharged delve is Craig Val's Rest. Right. I'm pretty sure anyway. I mean, there might be some other ones, but that's the only one I can see. So this one, for instance, isn't. The other one in Azshka isn't. Undermine. Okay, you have a few, actually. There are a few that are overcharged. But this one isn't, so it won't be able to tell you. Two Del should be overcharged. Yeah. So the second one is the one in Undermine right now. Oh, come on. I was delving only for my lens on my monk. The Funhouse lens, the trinket of mysteries, the trinket that doesn't actually exist in this game unless you were lucky week 1. Fun fact, I never got a single delve trinket on this character. At no point have I got a delve trinket on this character. No mechano core, I never got a Funhouse lens. That kind of sucks. On the other hand, I got like House of Cards and stuff pretty early on, so I can't complain. But my point is that delves, like, it felt so bad, like, because your best trinket was like Funhouse lens, right, or mechano core, and if you didn't get those, like, it felt so rubbish in the first week, especially if you didn't have access to a House of Cards. So at least with M+, you could farm your trinket share. So Peacemaker, you could actually farm that one, so that wasn't too bad. There was no, like, I guess you could farm Signo the Priory, but that's kind of like a, you don't want that. Well, I haven't got a single trinket from Raid. Yeah. Yeah, there are two sides to every coin. Wowhead has a guide of which one gives what. We can actually quickly bring that up. I had that up. Wowhead. Delve Belt. Let's quickly have a look through this. Because it might literally just tell us, how do I get this off my screen? Get off. Overcharged belt, yada yada yada. All I care about is Tyson disc fragments. Tyson disc shards. There's no limit to how many nodes any player can purchase in a day. Yeah, we don't care about that. I just care about how you get them. Tell me how you get them. You're not going to tell me. Stupid wowhead. Useless wowhead. Titan disc shards. Maybe this comment can help me. TLDR, when you have completed the intro quest, repeat your preferred overcharged tier 1 delve with one character or switch characters. So it looks like you want to just repeat the tier 1 delve. It sounds like that's the best case to get these fragments. So the intro quest is like you can do tier 1, and then this dude says, repeat your preferred overcharged tier 1 delve with one character or switch to work on that disc belt as well. And then you can transfer disc shards. So tier 1 looks like it is the best one to just repeat over and over to get these shards, rather than like 8s and 9s and stuff like that. And you can tell because it has 19 likes, which means that it's popular. Oh, I regret not actually doing the stealth properly. Plundered artifacts recovered. Plundered artifacts recovered. Still need one more. Oh, can I ring a piece that? Uh-oh. Oh, piss off. We're not in combat. My house of cards came from the chip. Ah, dinars. Yeah, I'm pretty sure like a majority of people's house of cards probably came from dinars, to be honest. I'd say, I don't know, I'd love to see statistics of like what people actually took from puzzling cartel chips, because I'm sure WoW will have them somewhere. I'd probably say like number 1 would be the Justice Diamond, right? And then probably like House of Cards would be easily second. I wonder what else people take. Maybe like Sephorium. Probably Sephorium, right? Eye of Kazan. Actually, I wouldn't be surprised if a lot of people took Eye of Kazan, which probably is not a great take to have gone. Good for next tier, but for right now, probably like a bad thing to take. Alright, so we killed Gear Grave, and we've unlocked both of our things. To the grave with you, Gear Grave. Sit, dog. Alright, so we have... No, we need to go to the... We need to go down here, and then we can do the thing. I'm considering taking one-handers, because I don't have any other upgrades. What, like from, I imagine you mean from the, Puzzling Cartel chip, right? Yeah, I mean, if you have no other like, upgrades, you might as well. Because I'm in that same situation. I'm going to have one more, I'm going to have one more delve upgrade. Sorry, why am I delve upgrade? I'm going to have, like, no more, Puzzling Cartel things, so I can get one more, right? Obviously, I got Pacemaker, and I got, not Eye-Kazan, I got Justice Diamond, but for me, I have Mythic Eye-Kazan. I have Mythic House of Cards somewhere. Like, there is genuinely nothing for me to take anymore. I might not even spend it, like, because I also have the Mythic one-handers anyway, which I don't even use, but, like, yeah, I'm just going to be sat on this Puzzling Cartel chip. Oh, first world problems. What a vibe. Woe is me. Oh no, he can't spend his Puzzling Cartel chip. That must suck. Anyway, we got the second one, Electric Current. So these are the two that we want. And now, if you're like really, you don't like delve content, you're literally just here to get your biggest damage upgrade, you no longer have to do any more delves this week. All we wanted was Charge Bolt, Spark Burst, Electric Current. These are the three that we want. That's all we care about. These two for AoE, depending on your character's, basically, damage profile. And Charge Bolt for single target or Slight Cleave. And we are happy. In terms of how you upgrade this belt, it's going to be exactly like Cersei's Circlet, right? It starts at 691. And then each week, you'll get a quest, which I imagine is going to be like the first quest that we had, which was do an overcharged thing, spend Titan Fragment, Disc Shard things, whatever they're called. And you'll just complete that, and you'll get the upgrade for it. It's going to be exactly like Cersei's, but delve-related. And I imagine you could probably just run tier 1 delves again. So there's like, your weekly for this is going to take you, what, 5 minutes? You do need to socket it. The only downside to this thing, I think, is that it has no secondary stats. I'm not a massive fan of that because my belt that I was using was actually a big versatility, big for my versatility. So I'm probably gonna have to do like a bit of a reshuffle. I mean, it's not too much versatility lost, and I'm gonna gain some damage from this. But anyway, let's do a sim. We'll look at how you sim this so that we can find out which is our best one to take. So we're going to do Conduit AoE, because obviously I'm going to probably be playing Conduit AoE for the majority of my entire existence in life. So we'll go on the right talent page, we'll go on the right build, because holy shit, I'm not running Ikazam without house cards. So MC that one, and we'll see what the options are for this. Alright, we're on raid bots. Cheeky top gear. So how does it come up? Belt here. So it's got charge belt on it as its option. If we change this, we can now change it to spark burst. So now we've got, it is spark burst, right? I'm not crazy. Hold up. Wait a minute. Yeah. So spark burst and, oh, we don't want charge bolt. So we want to compare it to electric current, right? So I mean, you might as well run all three because you only have 3 of them. So there's no point like not. But you need to make sure that you're at least running a sim with spark burst and electric current if you're doing AoE. If you're doing like, I mean, to be honest, I'd just run all 3 of these anyway because like it's not going to make the sim that much bigger. For single target and for AoE, just to get like a proper idea for it. So we've done that. And we'll run 2 sims. I just need to make sure. Why have I got 110,000 iterations? It's not a bad thing, but I don't know why I have them. Is it literally that? Yeah, it's literally that. That's not even that much. Okay, so we'll run Dungeon Slice, duplicate that, and we'll run a single target. So run the Dungeon Slice first. Then we'll just do the exact same thing, just so we can get an idea of what the best ones are for my character right now. Spark Burst. And just because, like, let's say Spark Burst is the best for me, just because it's best for me doesn't mean it might be best for you. You might be better off with Electric Current, so don't just, like, see whichever one I get and go, oh boy, I'm just going to get that one. I'm just going to use that one. It might be better off with you having one of the others. But really, really simple sim. That won't take that long. And we'll let that cook. I'm considering taking one-handers because I don't have any upgrades. Mugsy plus Galley. Yeah, Mugsy plus Galley. Yeah, Mugsy plus Galley weapons. They're okay. I mean, like, finding the situation to even use these anymore is, like, so niche. I don't even know. I've never even, like, upgraded them. So I've run sims with them, but even for, like, single target, it's, like, so minimal that it's like, what? There's no point me even doing it. Cause all I'd run them for would be, like, Sprocket Mong and Lock and Stock, and that fight is literally, like, 4 minutes now. It's just so unnecessary. But I guess if you have nothing else to spend it on, might as well. Alright, so we've done delves. We've unlocked our thingy bobby. We are going to get a socket for it. And then we're going to do some 1-button M+. Just to get, like, an idea. I think I'm going to do, like, I don't know. I think, oh, I don't want to do this because I could do like 1,000,000 dungeons to test all this out, but that sounds like a bit much, I'll be honest. That's a little bit too much. I think we'll try them. We'll try them without their cooldowns, I think. I think we'll try, or in fact, we'll try Shadow Pan with no cooldowns. So what I mean by that is using Shadow Pan, but no button that I press myself, right? Unless it's a defensive or an interrupt. We're not going to press anything, like, no Zuins are going to be pressed, no Slicing Winds, because those aren't actually used by the 1 button. And then for Conduit, we'll play that where we play the version where you do press those yourself. Because for Conduit, I really need this. Like, if I try play Conduit without, like, having Zuin and stuff, like, it's just, you're going to do no damage. So, really, if you're doing the Conduit 1 button, you still probably want to go for Zuin and stuff. Funnily enough, it does damage. So I think we'll do 2 M+, 2 12s. Sound reasonable. 1 Shadow Pan, 1 Conduit. And then I think we'll have a little look at the highlight assist. Hey, Once Upon a Barry, thank you for the subscription. I really appreciate it. Thank you for the Prime. Thank you. That's really kind of you. And then we'll have a look at the highlight. I won't look too much on the highlight, because... Actually, that's not true. I'll look a little bit on the highlights. So I kind of care about it a little bit, because there might be a world where this is better for learning. How do we do this? Oh, I hate not being a bartender. I just tried to find bartender. I don't even have a bartender on. Does this work with bartender? Actually, hold on. Now we get to the scuffed part of the stream where they hadn't prepped for. Uh-oh. I'll actually have a quick look at the highlight thing now. Before I do the dungeons, just to get an idea of how the highlighting works. 'Cause the idea is that it should highlight my abilities, and that's what I should press. Right? Is that the... I mean, that's the concept I'm guessing, right? Yeah, okay, so... Is that it highlighting it, though? Or is that... Hold on. No. Uh-oh. Do I have to turn off... Enables highlights that suggest the abilities to use. The assisted highlight will only suggest visible abilities. Why do I get the feeling that this isn't going to work with Bartender? And you're going to have to use the base UI? I get that funny feeling. Okay, in that case we will, I guess, turn off Bartender. It is literally not going to work with Bartender then. So that makes me think, is it going to work for ELV UI? Do you have to have the base edit mode? Who knows? We'll find out. Does this mean I have to... Why is it not highlighting? Alright, this is going to look a bit disgusting. I'm going to have to unhide some of these buttons. Alright, those are all my DPS ones. These are all the ones that matter, so I should just be able to have these two bars up, and it should highlight, right? Why don't you highlight? Oh, it is. That is fucking horrendous. Do you... Okay, hold on. let me show you. It's such a mundane highlight, I guess. So the highlight mode shows you what it's going to press next, right? So I've had to, like, because obviously I can't do this with Bartender. I have to do it with the base UI because it just won't. It just doesn't seem to work with Bartender right now. Maybe it's not implemented well. So it's a light blue highlight that it wants me to press, but the biggest issue here is that it doesn't highlight my Lux Loss. Lux Loss has no idea what the fuck's going on with this. Understandable. Yep. Understandable. I do get it. Unless, hold on. We'll see if there's a Lux Loss update. Nope. Okay. So, we'll press Storm, Earth, and Fire. Then it says Touch of Death, and then Tiger Palm, and then Fist of Fury, and then it wants me to Rising Sun Kick. Oh no, it wants me to Tiger Palm again, and then Rising Sun Kick, and then Whirling Dragon Punch, and then Tiger Palm, and then Blackout Kick, and then Tiger Palm, and Rising Sun Kick. Yeah, I think I actually have to do some more setting up for this, because this is, like, so scuffed. I'm having to look over here. However, with all of that said, I obviously think that the highlight mode is going to be a lot better for learning. Obviously, right? Because it's making you have to set up keybinds. You get, like, used to, like, pressing the certain buttons and stuff. And I imagine it's literally working off the exact same thing as the one-button macro, right? Like, you can see, like, if I just look at the one-button macro, in fact, I can probably just use that as my way of telling me what to press next. Yeah? Yeah, that's exactly how this works, actually. Like, the highlighted thing over here is the exact same thing as the button in the middle here. So, if your UI doesn't quite work with it, you can actually just use this. You can basically just use this as your reference of what you want to press next. So at least that's kind of good. I think the biggest issue with the highlight thing over here, though, is the color of it. I don't know. I don't know if I'm just being, like, over the top, but if I have, like, say I'm, like, just playing the game and I have my action bars down at the bottom like this, am I really going to be able to see this light blue color? Like, Tiger Palm, it's Fury, like... So the biggest issue I find with things like this is that you're gonna have to have your action bars literally right under your characters. Because otherwise, I'm constantly looking down here at the bottom of my screen. That's why I moved it up. I like it. I like the idea, but I feel like I need a lot. What the fuck is this? This is so bad. I think it's actually probably the cleverest way of doing this is like what I said. It would be to just straight up use the one button thing as your way of telling what your next button's going to be. And getting used to the keybinds like that. That's literally what I'm doing. But even then, I'm not pressing the buttons it's telling me all the time. Like, I'm trying to look at it, but sometimes it changes at the last second, depending on a situation. So that's a little bit awkward as well. This is actually probably a good way of me being able to understand what I think of it, because it's telling me to press some buttons, and in my mind, I'm thinking I completely disagree with you and what you're saying I should be pressing. Oh my god. Interesting. Right, I basically have to fully set up this highlighted thing, and I didn't do that before I started streaming, and this would take me like easily like 20 minutes to properly set up and stuff, so we're not going to look at the highlighted thing, unfortunately. I think it's good. I think it's like a good idea, but it's literally just this one button macro without the one button macro, if that makes sense, right? It just tells you the button that the one button macro would tell you, so you can just do it like that. But I would definitely change this color to something a lot brighter than this blue cyan. Unless your icons are massive, this to me is like such a... I don't know. It doesn't even flash, if that makes sense, right? It's a static blue color. Like, it's super, like... It's, like, subtle. Like, it feels like they were going for subtle, but that is the last thing I want to be... That's the last thing I want when I'm looking, like... When I'm trying to learn what buttons I need to press next, a subtle cyan color that doesn't even, like, flash. You know when you get a proc, yeah? And it, like, flashes yellow and it's massive and it's like, okay, proc time, big proc, big proc. This is like so subtle and like light blue. I think they might want to change that. In fact, I'll actually write that in my notes. The highlight is really subtle. Make more like procs, lol, or I can't see. I think that's maybe like a bit of a nitpick. And obvious solution to that is make your icons bigger, bro. Lol. Haha. Ooh. Sorry, I'm going on a bit of a tangent here, but if I turn these on, do these highlight? This would be... Because I imagine this is what they're going for, right? Surely they've implemented it like this. Right, we have our cooldown manager, yeah? This is what they've implemented. They've baked into the game. If I have highlights on, why is it not highlighting in my cooldown manager? No, there's no way they didn't do that. I thought they'd do that at least, right? Because these are both baked. So you can see, like, their inbuilt cooldown manager that they want you to, like, start using or have new players use. And you can see in the bottom... Actually, I'll move it because it's not easy for you to see what I'm trying to get out here. Over here, you can see my initial button that it wants me to press is Storm, Earth, and Fire. It's highlighted blue on my action bars. They haven't got it highlighting blue on your cooldown manager, though. These are the buttons that they want you to be using, like, or these are the things they want you to, like, track things with or see your essential cooldowns. I'm so surprised that these don't work together. Maybe I need to change some settings for it. But you can see, like Fist of Fury is glowing blue now. It's not glowing blue here. So if I hid my action bars, this doesn't integrate with it. There's no, like, cross-management integration, I guess is what I mean, and that just seems poor. That seems like something they should have done. Like, so the whole, like, surely if they want you to be using the help assists, right? The assist, the helper, surely it should integrate with the cooldown tracker, right? Okay. Highlight does not integrate with cooldown tracker. There are more bads than goods. I will find goods in my own time. Like, I'm not shitting on this. I'm not trying to shit on this. It looks like I've been shitting on, like, this entire, like, thing all of today. That is really not my intention, is not to, like, tell you this is bad. Because I don't think it's bad. I just want it to be good. So I think it can be a really good learning tool. But if it's done poorly, then you're not going to learn correctly. And then what is the point? I guess. I don't know. Maybe I'm just chatting shit. Anyway, let's actually play the game. Why am I waste all day to get every talent from the Delve device and then then don't work in the open world? Oh, I don't know, Doombringer. I've wasted 0 time because I only did the first one. I think they're literally just meant for delves. They're meant to make delves easier. But that sucks that you got all of them and they don't work outside of delves. But hey, on the plus side, at least your delve experience is gonna be really quick now, right? Yeah, because you're really strong in delves. Let me move this back down. Oh my god. Send me back to bartender, actually. Oh, I need to hide this as well. Oh my god, hide my shame. Hidden? Alright, cool. We're back to basics. So yeah, we're gonna play Shadowpan in some like plus 10s, plus 12s. I think plus 12s is fine because things stay alive a bit longer. Just to get a look at like the damage. Not even the damage, I guess, but like I guess overall damage can be like good. So like see if it's like decent. So I'm using a cook build, right? Like, so in my sense, when I'm talking about I want to see how the damage is, I want to see how you can get the most out of the one button macro, right? I don't care, like, I'm not saying how you can compete with actual Shadowpan if you weren't using it. I want to see how you can get the most from Shadowpan one button macro by taking talents that complement the one button macro. And I think this sort of build is my favorite one so far. So that's what I mean by looking at damage. Trying to get the most, like, compare it to other one button macro builds. So we'll see how that does. On top of that, like, I guess just getting a feel for, like, how does it play? Like, am I able to actually focus a bit more on movement? Am I able to actually focus a bit more on interrupts and stuff if I'm not having to think about the buttons I'm pressing next, right? Because in theory, every single button that I press, like, offensive button, I don't have to think about anymore. The game will do it for me. I can turn my brain off from that, and I can literally just think about movement, interrupts, CC, and stuff like that. So I think, like, genuinely, I think, like, at the start of a season, yeah, like, it sounds crazy. Like, at the start of, like, a season, like, let's say season 3 drops, and I want to learn all the dungeons and stuff, this would be a really cool device for me to, like, learn all the dungeons, get an idea of how the dungeons play out, how you should move on certain bosses and stuff like that. Like, I think this is, like, quite good. So you don't have to think about your damage rotations, you can actually focus on things like that instead. Because a lot of the time, like, things happen in a dungeon, but you're so focused on what's my next ability, you don't even notice it. Well, I do anyway. I don't notice half the shit that goes on. Lol. Yeah, we'll do some dungeons. I'm just going to go grab a drink. Let me turn the BRB 4 minutes on. And then we'll do some one-button dungeons. We'll start with Shadowpan. I'll leave the talents up. And we'll take off House of Cards. We're not running House of Cards because I don't actually press it with this build. Hee. Alright, won't be too long. Just be a sec. Because it's bloody hot today. We're having a heat wave in the UK, right? Heat wave. It's like 10 degrees outside. No, I'm just kidding. It's like 30. But, you know, it's actually insane here. I'll be 1 sec. Hello, I return. Thank you for the follow, Josipo. Appreciate it. Okay, let's get this shit off my screen. Let's do it. Let's test out 12. We'll just go pre-made groups. I'm sure I'll get an invite, right? Right. How do I join a dungeon? It's been a while. 12 to 12. We'll join any 12. Any 12 that's willing to take me. Dark Flame Cleft? Sure. Sign up. Recruit? Yeah, sure. Sign up. Cool. We're going to do DFC. One button. We're going to play Shadowpan. As we said, we're taking this like horrendously crazy build because I'm not pressing anything that isn't an offensive ability unless it is from my one button. I will interrupt and pop defensives, obviously, and play the game like normally otherwise, but no other buttons are allowed. Illegal. Talents. No. Oh god, how do I get to this dungeon? My bars are so scuffed, help! Where the hell is this dungeon? Darkflame Cleft. And we'll see how it plays. What we're looking for is how it plays on like trash packs, how a cooldown's used, things like that. Damage is just cosmetic. We don't care about how we do on the damage meters. That's not what we care about at all. As I've said like 5,000 times today. We're flasking food up, obviously. I'm not that crazy to not do that. We're also not going to be using House of Cards because we're not using any active trinkets because our active trinkets are me pressing another button, if you think about it like that. So we're going to run Eye of Kazan and Improvise Seathorium, 2 passive trinkets. Lol. We're just going to see how it goes. Like, can you do dungeons casually and not completely troll by just doing a 1-button macro? Can you do your weeklies? How does it play? Am I going to actually... Are there things that I don't like about it? Are there things like bad habits in the dungeon that it's going to do? Is it going to pop Storm, Earth, and Fire with no good cooldowns available? Who knows? We'll find out. Demon Hunter needs to get a flask. Okie dokie, sure. No pots as well. I mean, we'll healing pot and stuff. We'll use our defensives, shit like that. If there was anything I'd probably change, I don't know. I maybe would change, like, the thing is, I need these talents down here. The only way to get them is to either go Strike or Rushing Jade Wind or Inner Peace. So that's the only reason I've chosen Inner Peace, right? I chose Inner Peace because Strike of the Windlord and Rushing Jade Wind, I feel like the one button kind of doesn't manage energy and chi very well. Alright, let's go. Alright, Storm, Earth, and Fire to a Fist of Fury. We kind of like that. Into a Target Palm, Rising Sun Kick, Whirl and Dragon Punch. Oh, no Whirl. Okay. Pretty good. Move out the mechanic. So that's what we're doing. Oh, I can interrupt. Let's make sure we get some interrupts going. Yeah, I think that's pretty good. We'll get some CC going as well. That's what we're going to focus on here. Do I get one shot here? Probably not. Okay, use Touch of Death pretty effectively there as well. And then Fist of Fury. Alright, 3.7 million on the first pull. Not bad. Yeah, spinning Crane Kick, please. Okay, then we spinning Crane Kick. Alright, got the Flurry Strikes off, actually. I'm not too down about that. And then we want to get a good Crackling Jade Lightning here, so hopefully it does that now. Alright, so it does that now. The one thing with Crackling Jade Lightning is you kind of need to be aware that it's about to go off, otherwise you'll just keep moving and you cancel it. And that would suck. Using the belt? I am using the belt. Actually, now you mention it, I probably should have double-checked what my belt enchants were, or embellishments, whatever you want to call them. But I definitely am using the belt. I think I'm using the AoE thing. I didn't actually look at it. We'll have a look now. We are using... Alright, we're using the Charge Bolt, which is actually the one you don't want to use for M+. Lol. Don't worry about that too much. But yes, we do have the new belt. Oh god, we got aggro. Alright, interesting. It's not... Please... Okay, I was going to say, please spinning crane kick. Okay, it's going to lightning now, so make sure we stand still. So tab targeting is still going to be pretty important for, like, picking targets. And it's things like this, right, where it will use, It basically will use Storm, Earth, and Fire on cooldown. Like, it doesn't think about things like that. Basically, if Storm, Earth, and Fire is available, it will press it. And that's like a downside of it, I suppose, is that, like, sometimes you don't want to Storm, Earth, and Fire on cooldown. Like, and when I say sometimes, I mean always. Like, Storm, Earth, and Fire is something you kind of want to think about when you're going to pop. As well as that, it doesn't fixate clones. So that's also going to be a bit, like, rough. I don't think they'll ever implement it to fixate clones, because that's a little bit too much. But the issue with it not fixating clones is that my clones will just have a mind of their own and will attack whatever they want. So far, like, I think the rotation's okay. Should lightning now, right? Yeah, nice lightning. Like, what I care about the most, I think, at the moment is it using my energy and my chi efficiently? And I would honestly say it is. I'd say that, like, I haven't run into too many energy or chi issues just yet. Look, I can fully focus on mechanics, right? So I'm spending a lot of time, like, dodging the minecarts and stuff. I don't have to think about what button I'm pressing next. I just think about where's the boss going, where the ads. So, like, actual things like that are really good. Because a lot of the time you will, like, think about, okay, what do I need to press next? So I can literally stand in the middle of this minecart and know that at all times I'm probably not going to get hit because I know it's coming in. Because that's all I'm looking at. I'm not looking at my buttons. My buttons are just going, right? Whatever gets pressed, gets pressed. So it should lightning here into fists. Yeah, into fists. Good. We didn't get a whirling dragon punch off there, which was pretty bad. It means we're delaying. But I guess we're okay with that. Like, damage is not too bad. Obviously, I'll start off the dungeon really low, because that's just how Shadowpan kind of works, right? I'm never going to have the burst on the first pulls, but I will start pulling it back as we go through the dungeon. Like, I think Touch of Death is its highest priority spell, and it's not even close. Like, but you can see right here, yeah? I had a spinning crane kick prop, and even though I'm an AoE, it refused to press it. So I've essentially lost a Dance of the Chuji prop. So that's, like, one of my biggest gripes so far with this one assistant, is that it doesn't use spinning crane kick Dance of the Chuji one stack well. Like, it doesn't understand that it needs to press it before it drops off. So you're essentially losing, like, a lot of spinning crane kick damage throughout the dungeon. That kind of sucks. But in terms of, like, mechanics and stuff, I can constantly, like, look at these bonks, you know? Like, I can constantly just look at the floor. Get interrupts off, you know? Tab target to get a nice interrupt off. Crackling Jade Lightning should come out now. So as long as I'm aware that Crackling Jade Lightning is going to come up, I should be fine. Like, sometimes it works, right? Sometimes it will prioritize spinning crane kick in AoE. Sometimes it just won't. And I'm not sure what the condition has to be for it. I think as well, I think it Rising Sun kicks a bit too much. Which is usually fine if I had cooldowns. Like, if I was playing the version of it with cooldowns, that's good. But I'm not actually running Zuin's Battle Gear, so I actually don't want to Rising Sun Kick. I literally don't want to Rising Sun Kick unless it allows me to Whirling Dragon Punch, but it doesn't take that into account, right? I'm not... like, it's not surprising it doesn't take it into account. Oh, that's actually kind of cool. So what it just did there, is that I had Crackling Jade Lightning as my next ability that it was ready to, send off. And because I was moving, it just wouldn't press it. So at least then it doesn't trigger and then, like, you keep moving and then it cancels itself. You have to plant your feet first, which makes sense. That's how, you know, it works. But it doesn't troll you with Crackling Jade Lightning, at least. Like, it will not send it unless you're stood firmly still. Like, it won't, like, stop your character and then start to step you forward and then GG. Yeah, that's going to hurt because nobody has any CC left. Okay. Oh my god. No one had CC left. I last played Black in Legion, having some trouble trying to copy the bartender UI in to the folder. Not sure what I'm doing wrong, to be honest. I don't know. I imagine you're talking about the video, right? Potentially, I don't know. I'd have to look back at it. I've had like some people have some issues with it that we've managed to work out here and there. I don't know if it needs like updating since then. But potentially, like, it might just be that one of the files hasn't been copied over and stuff, because that was like the usual suspect, is that one of them was and one of them wasn't. Me back, had online meeting, work stuff. Ugh, work, gross. No worries, mate. All right, let's see how it does on single target. Single target will be an interesting one. I guarantee it's not going to spinning crane kick. So this is my, like, I've said it a few times, but this is my biggest gripe with this, is it's not going to use my spinning crane kick. It will straight up refuse to press it. And now I'm going to lose a Chiji stack. It just won't press it. Unless, like, it meets the condition of being at 2, it straight up does not press it. So throughout this encounter, I'm just going to lose a ton of damage from Dance of the Chiji. I guess that's, like, it's a small thing. But if I'm like a new player trying to learn World of Warcraft as Windwalker Monk, and I'm using this as a good way to, like, in my mind, I think, okay, they've added this so that I can learn how to play Windwalker. I'm learning that I don't want to press spinning crane kick unless it's on 2 stacks, and if it's on 1 stack, I don't press it at all. Luckily, we are getting some stacks, so you can see the moment it hits 2, it's happy with it, and it will do. But otherwise, it just won't. Been loving the vids, literally made me re-download today. Hey, awesome, I'm glad I could get you back into the game. Just got back from being offshore, can't wait to start raiding, pushing Mythic again. It's a really good season for it. Like, obviously, it's all personal, like how people feel about like how an M+ season is and stuff, but I think overall, generally, this is quite a good one. Like, the dungeons are pretty decent, as well as that, they've got like this resilient key feature in, which there's like obviously some controversy with it and people tipping and whatnot, asking for tips, but like the actual concept of resilient keys is really cool. The fact that like if you complete all of your 12s, your key won't deplete below a 12 and stuff, so it allows you to like not feel bad. So I found like the worst thing always was that I'd end up in the situation where you deplete your key to a keystone level, like where basically no one wants to sign up to it. But as well as that, you then have to like climb so much harder to then get back up to a keystone where you actually get score again. And that always felt atrocious. So it's like a bad luck protection sort of thing, in a way. See, then, it did spinning crane kick there. Even though it was at 1 stack. And I don't know if it like needs a certain amount of mobs before it decides, okay, that's enough targets for me to justify pressing spinning crane kick. But you shouldn't need a certain amount of mobs to justify it. When it's Chiji, when you've got a glowing spinning crane kick, 1 target is enough justification to press that button before the cooldown drops. But it seems that like it seems like it doesn't care about that. But honestly, that's like one of my main gripes with it, and like, really other than that, there's not that much that I hate about it. Obviously, I'm not a massive fan of it sending Storm, Earth, and Fire on cooldown, but what can you do? That's just how it's designed, that it will send like your highest prior ability on cooldown, and that's fine. Grip him up, bro. Interesting to start with Fist of Fury there when we had no chi, but we'll allow it. Yeah, so once again, it's just not going to send out my spinning crane kick, which is like the majority of my damage. It does Crackling Jade Lightning, but the other downside to Crackling Jade Lightning, I suppose, is that it will not... it will only send out Crackling Jade Lightning on 20. So it's pretty much programmed that no Crackling Jade Lightning until you're on 20 stacks, which generally is good practice, right? Like, that's generally like how you should do it. But that's not always how you should do it. Sometimes it's like not too bad to send it out a little bit earlier if the situation arises. Ow, this hurts. I can definitely feel the DPS loss in single target from not having cooldowns. In AoE, it's not too bad. But Windwalkers are, like, probably one of our strongest suits, or our strongest things at the moment, is boss damage. In M+, anyway. In M+, like, we don't have to give up too much to do boss damage. So usually, as a Windwalker, you should probably be topping, like, boss damage always, even with Shadowpan. But as you can see, because I'm not using things like Zuin, and I'm not using things like Slicing Winds, or I'm not sending out, you know, spinning crane kicks, I'm essentially doing, like, no boss damage. So that's a downside to this. I think we'll see the damage dramatically, like, increase when I play the version of it that you can use Zuin, and you can use Slicing Winds. As being able to actually do cooldowns like that. The downside to that's going to be, though, that I don't get to decide when I send my cooldowns out. I'm going to have to send my cooldowns out when the when the one-button macro tells me that I can. So the moment the one-button macro sends out a Storm, Earth, and Fire, I have to send out my cooldowns. On top of that, yeah, I'm basically never going to have Storm, Earth, and Fire up for my cooldowns because it will just send them as is. Oh, it was lightning. I didn't check. GG. I mean, I suppose, like, the one good takeaway from this is that you can easily do your weeklies with just the one-button macro, right? Like, you are not trolling. My damage is obviously lower than everybody else's. But it's not troll amount of damage, right? Like, I'm still doing damage. It's not like we're talking like I'm doing 1 million tank damage or whatever. Like, I'm actually still, like, actually contributing. So I feel like you just want to do your weeklies and stuff. You're just chilling out. You don't have to think too much about it. Maybe you got, you know, you got the League of Legends game on your other monitor and you're watching that. Well, all you got to do is, you know, just side eye at that whilst you press your single button and just walk around in circles. You know, maybe Faker's on and you don't want to miss the big game, but you need to do M+ because you've got your weeklies to do. Well, don't worry. No, you don't have to miss Faker. You get to watch him play. It's gonna be sick. There are definitely, yeah, there are definitely, like, situations where I'm like, I could be pressing more buttons. I suppose, like, the one thing that I haven't talked much about is the GCD loss. So, like, the cost of having to use this is, what, 25% of your GCD? You basically lose per ability. So it takes you longer to cast your next ability. I hardly notice it. I'll be 1,000,000% honest. I barely even notice it. I think maybe when I go back to not using the one button, I'll notice it a bit more. But, like, the 25% hit is literally nothing. I barely even feel it. Obviously, it matters. But you won't really even notice it. I suppose because you're literally just spamming one button. All I'm doing is pressing this one button. This button on my mouse is going to break so quickly if I keep doing this. Because I've probably pressed it over 1,000 times today already. Because I literally never stop clicking it. If you look down at this bottom right icon over here, my actual one, you will constantly see it flashing. It never stops flashing because all I'm doing is just pressing this one button. I think for, like, things like delves and stuff, you'll be able to do this and chill. The one thing about delves that I don't like is, like, having to actually do them. But if I'm doing, like, my delves and my, like, second characters and stuff, and I just want to, like, get them done, run through them, then yeah, just having one button that you can just press whilst you just kind of run through it, brain off, sort of. You're going to be able to do it. Like, you're going to be actually able to do content and stuff. The APL is not stupid. It's actually relatively smart, so I like that at least. It's not, like, fully dumb mode. Like, they've actually put some thought into it. I guess. We're not even going to 3-chest this. Oh, no. Yeah, so it's spinning crane kick there. Something tells me that you have to be on at least 5 targets for it to decide that spinning crane kick is a viable button. Which is not true, obviously. Like, 3 targets is usually the fine enough for you to spend a baseline spinning crane kick over a blackout kick. But it seems to be like 5. It likes 5 targets, I think, is what I'm kind of seeing from this. That it will actually like send out spinning crane kick over blackout kick. So maybe that's a little bit of a bad habit. Oh, that was interesting. That just sent out Storm Earth and Fire during a fist. We didn't like that. Uh-oh. We got Mechanic on me. Well, I think this might be, like, this feature might be good for, like, potentially things like ahead of the curve guilds. Let's say, like, you're trying to kill Galliwix, right? And you're still on Galliwix right now, and you're struggling a little bit, and, like, sometimes you're, like, wiping to the mechanics and stuff. I think this is going to be a good way to, like, help some guilds push over the edge and get, like, their ahead of the curves and stuff like that. Because you can focus more on mechanics. I don't think it'll, like, help you do more damage, but at the end of the day, bosses like that, that don't have an enrage or anything, it's all mechanic based, right? The entire fight is basically, can you do the mechanics, can you survive throughout the entire fight? Well, this will allow you to do that. So I think there's benefits to that as well. Okay, we've actually got some boss damage down. I think that's because I actually got a Storm Earth and Fire off. Yeah, I mean, it's okay. I'll be interested to see what the damage breakdown is. I'd love to see where Spinning Crane Kick is on the damage breakdown. I'm going to say Spinning Crane Kick is going to be below Blackout Kick, 1,000,000%. It's going to be below Crackling Jade Lightning. I don't even know what else it will be below, but basically Spinning Crane Kick should be your second highest damage, if not your first, depending on what talent you're running. Fist of Fury. I don't think it's going to be anywhere near that. I barely pressed it the entire run. And that's where I think this, maybe the one-button macro really loses it. Is it doesn't quite understand Spinning Crane Kick. It plays Spinning Crane Kick as if, like, it's just an AoE ability. Like, another one down the drain. Rest in peace, Spinning Crane Kick. You were... you tried. Alright, we'll have a look at the damage breakdown. No way is Spinning Crane Kick that high still. You're taking the piss. There's no way it's still that high. I mean... That's so surprising to me that somehow Spinning Crane Kick still managed to get second. You can see in that entire dungeon, I only cast it 66 times. I probably lost about 40 casts. I probably should be in the above 100s. I basically pressed Spinning Crane Kick the same amount of times as Fist of Fury, by like 6 in a difference of that. Like, that should never be the case. Like, Spinning Crane Kick should be like about double your amount of Fist of Furies, because Fist of Fury is on a massive cooldown. Spinning Crane Kick has no cooldown, obviously. So that's like probably my biggest gripe, Spinning Crane Kick interactions with it. Other than that, I kind of like, I don't mind it. I think it doesn't do too bad. Like, obviously, damage is bottom, right? Which is fine, but it's not troll damage. Like, this is still decent damage. And when you actually look at the ordering of how damage should be, this is about how it should kind of look when you play without the one button. Like, Fist of Fury, Spinning Crane Kick top. Crackling Jade Lightning about third. Blackout Kick fourth-ish. The Spirits are just whatever. They'll be whatever. They did less damage because there was no, like, real lining them up with anything. There was also no big damage window to pump them up, I suppose. Flurry Strikes is a bit higher than usual. I think that's probably because there was a lot more emphasis on Tiger Palm because of the build that I went with Inner Peace. Rising Sun Kick shouldn't be that high either. I should barely have pressed this button. Casting Rising Sun Kick 118 times is absolutely criminal. I think it puts way too much priority on Rising Sun Kick. I think that is something that I'm not a massive fan of. Like, Rising Sun Kick is actually a button we don't press that much. So I'm going to say too much Rising Sun Kick prio as a con. Rotation is pretty smart. Good energy chi management. Smiley face. Like, there are goods to it. What else have we said is good? I don't remember. I don't remember what else I've said is good. I mean, good energy chi management is like an actual big one. Like, can I bold this? No, I can't make it bold. That's worth at least 2 bads. Like, being able to like manage your chi and your energy to allow yourself to constantly pressing buttons is huge. What else? Lightning Strike was the delve thing, by the way. That didn't do too bad. It did a total of 107 million damage. And this was the wrong one. I took the wrong one for a dungeon. I should have taken the other one. So that's not too bad. Like 3% of your damage. So this is gonna like this delve thing is gonna absolutely slap on bosses. And as we tested, as what I said earlier, can you switch this during a dungeon? And then plus, you can't. If you could switch what this was during a dungeon, you would dungeons would be so broken because you could switch this before a boss, you could switch it before an ad pack. Yeah, I'm glad that you can't do that. That's at least a positive. Yo, so putting the one button action into a macro of some non-channel lines. Yeah, so it's a really simple macro as well. You don't have to put like the whole jazz that I do usually for like my blackout kick and stuff. Really don't have to do that. You can, hold on, where is it? Oh, because I'll paste it in chat for you. I can't remember what I named it. A, B, C, D, E, F, G. I can't remember what I named this fucking thing. Where's O? Where does O go in the alphabet? That's my one-shot macro. Why do I have a one-shot macro? Cast Shadow Blades, cast Cold Blood, cancel Aura Stealth, cast Symbols of Death, cast Sequence Reset equal 10 Shadow, Dance, Vanish, Shadow Strike, Dread Fire, Vessel, Mark the Death, Eviscerate. Cool, I have a one-shot macro. This comes... Oh, that's from Shadowlands. I literally have a macro that I used to play in PvP where it was one button and... Oh, that brings back such a good memory. I played Rogue and there was a legendary in Shadowlands where you'd go into PvP and your entire PvP 1v1 would be determined by if you could one-shot them with this macro before they could react. And if you failed it, you lost the game. But if you could, they'd get one shot. And it like genuinely was a one shot if they couldn't react to it like within like a second. Anyway, yeah, the one button is literally this. I'll paste it for you in the chat. So that's basically what you want to do. I 100% recommend this, like, because otherwise you end up in the situation where if you're spamming this one button macro thing, and you Fist of Fury is your next one, and you're spamming it, it will instantly cancel your Fist of Fury after like 1 tick for your next ability or 2 ticks. So it's even like worse than cancelling your Fist of Fury at the very end for another ability. Like this will constantly cancel your channels. So please, if you want to use this, put it in a macro at least. What have I done here? I've just typed lots of ones. How's the one button going in brackets? I don't like it. I'm looking at it from like a learning perspective. So like damage and stuff, I don't care about any of this. So I'm like trying to make a list of things that like are good and things that are bad about it. Obviously at the moment bad's more, but I think there are some more good things I'm just not thinking of at the top of my head because I'm just gonna make like a short video on it. Oh, good, accessibility. Right, accessibility is like a great one. But I'm looking at it from like a perspective of if I picked up Windwalker and I wanted to learn Windwalker through this one button macro thing, can I learn Windwalker once I get rid of this one button macro? Am I going to have bad habits? Am I going to play Windwalker like pretty well? I think to some degree yes, to some degree no. I think there are some bad habits. There are definitely some bad habits that puts you into. Take cooldowns out of the list of OB abilities, manually use Chi G procs, and it's pretty much there. Yeah, I think the manually use Chi G procs is a big one, or something that they could implement a bit more. Because it's definitely got something to do with how many targets are around you, if you're spinning crane kick or not. Which shouldn't be the case. I don't even know how they code that. I don't pretend to understand how you code. I think it's an amazing accessibility feature. I think its rotation is a bit questionable at times. Yeah, I mean, I agree, right? For accessibility, awesome. like for just playing the game like simply like doing your delves with brain off, if you just want to mess around like that, or you want to do like +10 or something and you don't really like want to think, amazing. But like from the learning point of view, because we love education on this channel. That's all, like, thumbs up, education, cool, learning things, guides, yay. I think it's got a bit of work, but I think it's not things that are too hard to fix. I think one of the things that they'll never be able to fix, which is probably the worst, most egregious thing, is sending things on cooldown, right? Like, as a Windwalker monk, you cannot have your big burst windows without a Storm, Earth, and Fire. You're, like, kind of trolling. But the moment Storm, Earth, and Fire's up, this thing sends it. Like, it will just send it. It don't give a fuck. It does not give a single shit about, like, you holding your cooldowns. So I think Conduit's going to be a bit more punishing. Shadowpan's definitely less egregious for it. Anyway, we're going to test out Conduit now. And we're going to play Conduit with the variation of, okay, I'm going to press my one-button macro, but I am going to use Zuin and Slicing Winds myself. Which is the way I'd recommend using this. Because for Conduit, it's so fundamental to have Zuin. And Slicing Winds to a degree that if you're not pressing these, you are going to be having such a bad time. And you'll feel bad. You'll see your damage if you don't use these, and you'll be like, oh man, I'm not having fun because I'm not doing much damage. This makes such a big difference. It's not going to line up every time because I'm never going to have Storm, Earth, and Fire, but that's okay. So yeah, those are the only two buttons I'm allowed to actively press myself because they're not part of the one-button macro. But if you are playing Conduit, you should definitely have at least these two buttons bound to something that you press. And then we'll have House of Cards again, so I'm allowing myself that. Alright, find another 12. I think... I don't even know. We could do another Dark Flame Cleft. I know it's a bit like... I know it's a bit repetitive, but it wouldn't be a bad dungeon to, like, kind of compare, because I've literally just done this Dark Flame Cleft, right? Then I can at least compare the two. So... yeah, it is a little bit repetitive that we're going to do the exact same dungeon, but for just, like, the general idea of, okay, we're just going to practice it, compare the two, I think that's useful. Useful information. Useful knowledge. Knowledge is power. One-button macro works perfectly on Prot Warrior. 0 uptime on Mitigation is good. Vildium, I think that might be sarcasm. Something tells me that might be a bit sarcastic. I think on healers, I don't think you can play it on healer, right? Like, I think all healers recommend, like, all healing discords and stuff say just don't play it because it's not built for that. Oh, are they already in the dungeon? No, they're not. Like, for healing, like, someone was telling me earlier that all it did was press spinning crane kick as a Mistweaver monk. Spoiler alert, even I know that you don't just spam spinning crane kick. So healing, I mean, it makes sense, right? It's like, it's obviously set on a priority. The system is set on a priority of abilities. When highest priority is up, it presses it, and it also works on a system of how many targets are you near. I think those are the two systems that it works on. Number of targets versus priority in that situation of targets. I think those are literally the only two things that it kind of understands. There's a little bit of understanding, I think, towards 2 stacks of certain things. So if you have 2 blackout kick stacks, it will understand that. And if you have 2 Chi-Ji stacks, it does understand that, a high prio. But 1 stack of either, I think it doesn't fucking even notice it, which kind of sucks. So yeah, as I was saying, like, healers are reactive, right? Healers, things that are, like, done on the fly. Like, all dungeons are going to be different for a healer. You can't, like, have a priority of buttons that you're pressing. Like, you kind of can, but to a degree you kind of can't. So it just doesn't really work for healers, unfortunately. And I've heard that tanks it sucks for as well. I've heard that tanks it is horrendous. I read, like, on Wowhead that for Prot Paladin, it is a 40% damage loss. And I know I've said who cares about damage right now. But when you're playing a tank, damage is kind of important because damage equals threat, right? So if you've lost 40% of your damage, you've lost like 40% of your threat generation. Oh, I need to change my belt. So we're going to take Spark. Oh, we've done the sim. Hold up. Okay, we did the sim, and it says for me right now, I want to be using electric. So I want the electric one for my AoE. Not haste. So the game has decided that my sim has decided that I need a bit more mastery for my setup, so I want the mastery one over haste. So that's what my sim basically says for that. You can see 40,000 increased damage from not having it on. And there's about a 9,000 AoE damage difference between having the spark burst and having the electric current, and then a 35% for charge bolt. So definitely I don't want to be running charge bolt in a dungeon. So yeah, that's the belt. We like the belt.
5, 3.
By the way, may I get some advice from Mugsy Mythic? Can't do proper damage or burst even when refocusing Storm, Earth, and Fire. In what sense? Where are you finding that you struggle? Like, start of the fight, middle of the fight, certain overlaps? What strat are you doing as well? Alright, so because we're opening with Storm, Earth, and Fire, I'm going to send Zuin. Sounds crazy, but I am actually just going to send Zuin straight off the bat. Because I need it to line up, and then we conduit here. So the only buttons I'm pressing outside of this are Slicing Winds. Okay, so it actually Storm, Earth, and Fire again there, which I'm actually okay with. Yo, I'm kind of doing a bit of damage, actually. Uh-oh. Alright, Cheeky Touch Death. Get some interrupts going. Oh, pot up. And now, actually, because it's done it like that, I should be able to line up a Storm, Earth, and Fire every single time. This actually might not be too bad for Conduit. Because the cooldowns line up so nicely. I should actually be able to send these two out at the exact same time every time, as long as the dungeon goes well. And I don't have to hold. Basically, I'm not allowed to hold. I guess what I'm trying to say. I'm dead. Oh, no. I forgot. There's no damage in here. Yes, okay, so this is how this is going to work. I am never allowed to hold my cooldowns. The moment... Right, sounds crazy, yeah? But every single time I can send out my big cooldowns I have to. There's no holding for a boss. There's no holding for the next trash pack. Cooldowns are ready to go. Cooldowns get sent. Also, I am having some massive energy issues right now. I don't know if that's just bad management from the rotation. It's hard to tell. Oh, I'm dead.
Wasn't necessary.
What the hell? Why'd I die? Dying in a 12? Huh? Are we all using one button rotations? Oh, I see the issue. We've, our healer died. Ah, I'm starting to see the issue now. We're in Dark Flame Hell, which is where you wipe on the first couple of packs in Dark Flame, and then you each run back in individually, but because you're all running back one at a time, things just don't work out, and you just die repeatedly. Ah, my favorite source of Dark Flame Cleft. Yeah, as I was saying, you're basically going to have to send cooldowns out constantly, otherwise you're going to have them completely desynced from each other. The one thing I do like with the Conduit, though, that I've said a couple of times, is that I really like that it casts Strike of the Windlord over Conduit. Because that's the ordering that you have to have, right? You need to have that sort of ordering. I'm going to rate this trash pool a 1 out of 10. Alright, please do Spinning Crane Kick. It's perfect time Spinning Crane Kick. Alright, good to do it now. Yeah. Once we killed all the ads. Yeah. Amazing heal. Can't tell if that's sarcasm or not. I don't know. I don't really care. Alright, so we've got to send out cooldowns. And, oh, we didn't... I fucking hate this dungeon. I mean, overall seems low even for me, and we're playing push strat, 3 healers. I mean, like... Yeah, I mean, like, for Mugsy... You say you're fixating the... Because, like, my first instinct would be fixating, right? I probably would be like, oh, are you making sure that you fixate? But the fact that you say that you're not having fixating issues because you are fixating... I guess it depends when are you popping cooldowns. Are you popping cooldowns during jails? Popping cooldowns during jails? I'd probably say that's probably not great. The thing is, a lot of the time now is that the damage has kind of gone down a little bit. So a lot of the time you were able to get a bit more damage off of the ads, right? The electric ads, the ones that take additional damage. Now, because like things like your dirty little warlocks are so strong now, these ads die before you even get a chance to get to them now. So you do lose a bit of damage off of that. I always find that I actually hold cooldowns for the... am I just dead here? Oh, I have 19 dots on me. Based. What do we call it? I hold cooldowns for the Rocketeers. And in terms of like the cooldowns that I actually hold, let's say I know that we've just basically... I know a Rocketeer is about to spawn. I will hold my Fist of Fury for it. I will hold a Strike of the Windlord for it. I will hold Slicing Winds for it. I'll hold Touch of Death for it. Just to guarantee that I can get, like, all my big cooldowns on 2 targets. Because even, like, holding them for, like, a few extra seconds or whatever, like, up to 10 seconds means that I'm getting double the damage on everything and a better heart window off of it. Please, Spinning Crane Kick. Alright, I'm going to have to send my cooldowns here. They are desynced. It is pretty rest in peace. And the worst part is, I'm never going to be able to resync them. Because I've desynced them once, it's always going to send out Storm, Earth, and Fire on cooldown, so there's no way for me to manually resync my cooldowns again. That's pretty bad. That kind of sucks. Actually, that sucks a hell of a lot. Can't resync Seth, Zuan. Unless you have, like, massive downtime, there's no natural way to reset it unless you stop pressing your one-button macro, which... Spoiler alert, you're not pressing your one-button macro. Whirling Dragon Punch, please? Or don't? Pretty much on cooldown with the exceptions of waiting for Bloodlust for the intermission phase. See, the thing I don't like about the intermission phase... the 3 healer... Is the 3 healer strat the one where you push the boss... Hold on, because I would like multiple strats for this boss now. Is the 3 heal one the one where you're trying to get a 5-minute kill, where you avoid doing the second jails? Is that the strat that you're doing? Or are you still spawning the second jails and then pushing at 4 minutes? Yeah, close to 5. Okay. Oh, we're gonna die in this room. I know it. Oh, we need a beam. I mean, I actually did some decent damage on this pack. Like, the burst is there. I'd love to know how much of it is Slicing Winds, though, which I guarantee is, like, pretty much all of it. And that's the button I'm pressing manually. But if you don't take that into account... Yeah, it's a hard one. It's a hard one without knowing how your fight's like actually going, you know. To tell like what could be the issue of overall damage on a boss fight like that, if that kind of makes sense. My best advice, as I usually like say, is because I don't have like a crazy amount of time to do like log reviews and stuff. Like I tried for a bit, but I realized like it used a lot of my like time that I would like spend on like video editing or stuff like that or streaming. I'm raiding. I don't really have time. But if you go to like Peak of Serenity and you post like a log, like they have people in there that do like log reviews all the time, and they're really fucking good at them because they literally do them all the time. So they're like really well practiced. That's it. I'd highly recommend like just going into their log channel, posting like maybe your Mugsy log, asking them like, do you guys know like what might be causing me to do a bit less damage here, or how could I optimize damage a bit more in Mugsy? And they'll look through your log and they'll be able to tell you like straight away, okay, I think maybe you could do better at doing X. You're doing pretty well at doing Y. If you, instead of doing Z at like this time, if you do Z at this time, that would be a good way to do it. So I'd highly recommend that. Like I've spoken to like a lot of their log people. They're really friendly as well, really friendly. And they're really like good at looking through logs because they've done it tons. So I'd highly recommend doing that if you want help with like logs and stuff. Because it's useful to do as well, right? To get like someone else to like look at it, give you an idea. Because then you take those like things that they like told you for that, and you then apply them to different situations. So let's say they say, oh, you might not be doing X too well on Mugsy here, and then you're like, oh, okay, I'm not doing X well on Mugsy here, but then you have a think about it, and you're like, oh, but I'm also doing the same thing on Rick Reverb. So if I actually did this differently on Rick Reverb, I could probably play better on that fight as well. And it's like kind of snowballs like that in a good way, where then you like are able to like change habits on different bosses and stuff like that. So yeah, TLDR, I definitely recommend. I just cancelled Conduit with Zuin. I'm playing this so badly. Is it crazy to say that I think this is a lot better with Shadowpan? Like, the damage is about the same, like, as it was with Shadowpan. So, like, it's not a damage thing, comparing the two damage-wise. But my biggest, like, issue right now is I feel like I'm so desynced that there's no way for me to actually get myself back onto the right page with my cooldowns. So, basically, for the remainder of this dungeon, I am completely screwed. Like, you can see, like, Conduit's 40 seconds, Zuin's 40 seconds, Stormearth Fire, well, that is 50 seconds. Oh, we pulled this. I don't think I've pulled this in about 50 years. Interesting. I didn't even know that you could still pull this. As well as this, we run into the situation where it will no longer press Fist of Fury for me. This is the one of my other big gripes. It's less prominent with Shadowpan, but you can see right here, I have a 10-stack Fist of Fury ready to go. It took me about 15 seconds before the APL decided to get me up to the right amount of chi to pop that. Instead, it prioed things like Rising Sun Kick. It was like, you need to Blackout Kick instead. These are bad things. Like, the moment Fist of Fury is available, that should be your highest prio ability, regardless of how much chi you have or energy at the time. Like, you need to work your way back up to being able to get that Fist of Fury out. The fact that it doesn't think like that, it thinks in the way of, okay, Fist of Fury's down and I don't have enough chi to spend it, I'm just going to send my next highest prio thing with the chi that I have. Which means that you're in this never-ending loop of not sending out Fist of Fury until you eventually get a lucky proc. So that is another, like, really big issue with it. And I've noticed it's worse on Conduit, because there's more buttons that you can press, right? Because there are more buttons you can press, you're technically in more chi deficit. When you're not playing with the one-button macro, it's not as bad, because you can actually, like, think a little bit about like restoring it, or using like Blackout Kick, Tiger Palm to get yourself back up to that chi range that you need. As well as with Shadowpan, like, you have more haste, you have more energy just naturally because of how it plays, so it's not as like a big of an issue. With Conduit, it also does it inside of heart windows. If you do not have enough chi in a heart window to send out Fist of Fury, it will not, like, get you up to that amount of chi to send it. It will just instead go, nah, bro. You want a Rising Sun Kick, don't you, you cheeky dog? And it will send Rising Sun Kick, and I just stare at my screen, and I'm like, I'm not getting off a Fist of Fury then, am I? And, like, that just goes back to bad habits, right? So it, like, really doesn't teach you anything about how important it is to get Fist of Fury off during a heart window. Things like that. Like, the opener is really good. I think the opener for Conduit is amazing, and it does the opener actually really cleverly. But once you're finished with the opener, it's Jova, dude. Like, my slicing, not my slicing winds, my Strike of the Windlord is now desynced from my Conduit. So I'm never going to get a triple heart window in a row again, unless it like naturally syncs itself back up. Because their timers are just all over the place now. Like 17 seconds on this, 14 seconds on this. It's just never going to line up again. As well as that, you know, as I said, Storm Open Fire is no longer ever going to line up with Zuin and Conduit unless we have some massive downtime at some point. Basically, if something gets desynced, it is perma-desynced. And usually if things get desynced, and you're not playing with this one-button macro, you can fix it. And that's good practice to learn how to fix it. But this doesn't teach you that at all. Because at least, like, if it held, like, Strike of the Windlord for, like... If you had Strike of the Windlord, if I was a brand new Windwalker player, I'd be like, why the fuck is it not casting Strike of the Windlord when Strike of the Windlord's up? But I would prefer that, because then there'll be some players that will go, oh, maybe it's not casting Strike of the Windlord for a reason. And then you understand that reason, and then you're like, oh, okay. But if it just sends everything on cooldown, you're not quite learning why things have to sync up. So Conduit's like, it's so much worse for Conduit. Like, the damage is about the same, but as I said, damage does not matter. Like, like you learn so... I'm learning so many bad habits from this. Yeah, bit of a rant. So now, because there was downtime, right, my cooldowns have kind of synced themselves back up again. So we got lucky. We got lucky because there was some downtime. So now we're basically back to square one, where we're happy with life. Life is good. We're pretty much in sync again. And that's why we're able to like pump out a hell of a lot of damage on this pull. We got all of our cooldowns nicely lined up. Ish. Well, yeah, I say ish, actually. Things are still kind of fucked, but better than it was. Have I used Shadowpan in any of my push keys? Yeah, I use Shadowpan a lot for a bunch of 17s. I kind of stopped using Shadowpan. Now I'm doing 18s and 19s. I think that... Like, I don't think it's bad. But I just think Conduit... Like, the weaknesses of Conduit are kind of negated by... Why did you attack this? I'm just going to let you die, bro. You deserve to die. Like... He's got so much aggro. The downside of Conduit... is that on lower dungeons, you run into this situation where you have... your cooldowns are basically not up for every trash pack, or they're up for like every other or every 2 to 3 trash packs. So a lot of trash packs, you lose a lot of value from Conduit, because all the damage comes from the big burst, right? However, the higher the keystones are, the longer you spend on a singular trash pack. So the trash packs tend to be bigger, because you have to spend more time on them anyway. So you get more damage, regardless, because they're bigger pools. And then the next trash pack you go into, well, you're going to have your cooldowns back up again, because this trash pack was a long one. So, and that's really the downside of Conduit and the lower keystone levels, is that you don't get value from every pull, but you get value from pretty much almost every pull in the higher keystone levels because of how long things last. I definitely picked that up, but it didn't give it to the thing, sure. So that's predominantly why I switched more to Conduit for the later keystone levels, to be honest. It's not like Shadowpan's bad, but the negatives of Conduit are kind of like reduced, and we like that. We like the negatives of Conduit being reduced. So I think Conduit can play better throughout the whole dungeon, because there's not like a lot of instances where you're like, man, I wish I had my cooldowns for this. I've got nothing for this. I'm going to do nothing. Like, they happen, obviously. I'm not saying they don't happen, but they're a lot less prominent. As well as that, bosses. Bosses and higher M+ take longer. You spend a lot more time on bosses, because boss fights are longer. They got more health, obviously. Conduit's just better at single target boss damage like that. Especially on things with like damage amps and stuff. It can be really, really good. So just overall in general, because of how Mythic Plus works and it getting trash packs getting longer, boss fights getting longer, Conduit just generates more value just from how it works with its burst profile. That kind of makes sense. But like, I could still play Shadowpan probably still play Shadowpan at a 19 and not troll. I just know I'd get more out of Conduit. But like 17s, I found Shadowpan to be fine. Like, Shadowpan was good in a lot of the 17s that I did. Things like Theatre of Pain, where it like really shines. Theatre of Pain, it really shone. Motherload, not Motherload. Mechagon's also a really good one for it. just because the trash packs are kind of on the smaller side, so you get a lot more value from lightning. See, like, once again, I had loads of time now for my cooldowns to kind of reset themselves. So what happens? I do a ton of burst damage. Like, the burst is pretty good, but once again, it lets spinning crane kick fall off. it lets spinning crane kick fall off. It doesn't think about things like that. Sorry, I've seen your question, Eham. I was just looking at that because I can look at that apparently whilst I press my one-button rotation. We got Galliwix to 50% last night for our third session of Prog. My logs have been way better, but was curious about your thoughts. Do you save cooldowns for ads that spawn after the soak or send ASAP? I do not save any cooldowns for the ads. Well, no, that's a lie. I don't send any major cooldowns. Uh-oh. So the way I still play it, even to this day, is that I don't think, like, you need to save cooldowns for ads. Even if you want a pad, right? I actually don't think it's worthwhile. Oh, the ones after... So, are we talking about the ads in P2 or the ads in P1? She said after the soaks. So I imagine... Well, even if we're talking about both, right? The way I play Galliwix is send all cooldowns and pull, obviously. Crackling Jade Lightning always at 20 stacks when you get to an ad set. No matter what ad set it is, you need to send a 20 Crackling Jade Lightning. That has to be done. And that when I say every ad set, I mean every ad set. You need full value from it, otherwise why are you taking it, right? You're taking it for the ads. It does good boss damage throughout. But you are taking it literally for the ads, right? So you basically are taking Crackling Jade Lightning for a bit of pad. Yeah, that is your pad. We're not really doing the mechanics, my boys. But yeah, I will... So you'll do the first trash pack, when it spawns, and then the second one, I will send a Strike of the Windlord out on. And that's it. I'll send Strike of the Windlord, Fist of Fury, but I'll actually save my cooldowns. And that sets up my cooldowns for the rest of the fight. After that, I send cooldowns on cooldown. Like, that's the only time I hold, and it's about a... It's only like a 25-second, 20-ish second hold. And the main reason for this hold was essentially because if you send out cooldowns when they come up on that trash pack, you end up in a situation when you send out the cooldowns. It'd be easier if I get the Galliwix video up. It'd be easier if I get the Galliwix video up. Hold up. So I'm trying to think about it. Also, yeah, let's have a look at that. So slicing, like, funny, look at that. Slicing Winds, top damage. Well, what was the only button that wasn't in my one button macro? Slicing Winds, right? So if I don't run Slicing Winds, damage is so drastically low. Slicing Winds should never be this high. So this is worrying, right? Like, this is genuinely really worrying for damage for Conduit with the one button macro. At least with Shadow Pan, the ordering was kind of correct, right? Spinning Crane Kick, Fist of Fury. Slicing Winds should be down here. Like, the fact that this is number one means that you're losing so much value from Spinning Crane Kick and Fist of Fury. So I think the one button macro is a lot more detrimental for Conduit, but I think that was a little bit obvious going into it, that because of how many rules there are and things you have to follow when playing Conduit, pressing abilities on cooldown was never going to be that great. Other than that, Gale Force is not too bad off the mark. Blackhawk Kick's pretty fine. Conduit's fine as well, damage-wise. But this top thing is like, there's some issues there. Yeah, let me quickly go through Galliwix. Hold up. Not the Shadow Pan one. I'll bring up the... Oh, ad block. Uh-oh. Oh, sweet. I love ads. You like NordVPN? Yeah, same. I love NordVPN. What's up, Windwalkers? Let's mute that fucking bozo. Do you think about the helper? What does Zap ask? Oh, what do I think about the helper overall? Yeah, let me just get through this and then I'll go on Gallowix Hamp. I mean, I've written like a notepad sort of thing so far on what my thoughts are. It can still be added to. I think there are some goods and there are some bads. I think the Shadow Pan rotation is pretty smart and has good priority. On the downside of that, I think the conduit rotation is pretty dumb. You get desynced. GG. Yeah, so Shadow Pan rotation I think is pretty smart if you play Shadow Pan with it. It's actually not too bad. Less buttons to press, so and it has a good balance of haste and or energy and chi even. So I think with Shadow Pan, it's actually you can probably learn the fundamentals of Windwalker through it and actually get a good idea. The one good thing I like about the Conduit one is that it tells you to strike the Windlord over Conduit. And this is something I was worried about, where if you have both of those abilities up, I was concerned that it would tell you to Conduit first, because it's like a bigger ability, right? That's how I thought the APO would work. It doesn't. It tells you to strike the Windlord first, which means you get 3 heart windows. 2 thumbs up. We're happy about that. That's really good. That's how you should play Conduit. Good energy and chi management overall. Yeah, I think for both hero talents, it's got good energy and chi management. So that's something you don't have to worry about too much. There is some downtime sometimes, but it's kind of just natural downtime. And it kind of, if there is bad energy and chi management, it comes as a result of not pressing certain abilities. So let's go over the bad. There are a lot of bads. Oh, obviously accessibility, great. You know, like, but this isn't. I'm not really talking about like accessibility and stuff. This just goes as like a obvious. This is really good for players that need it. Yeah, this is all for like learning Windwalker. I should probably put that at the top. Learning Windwalker. So the bads, the conduit rotation is dumb. Like, the issue with conduit is that it's to do with desyncing, right? If you get desynced on conduit, when I say desyncing, I mean desyncing things like Zuin, I mean things like Zuin or Conduit or Strike of the Windlord or Storm Earth and Fire. Like, you always want to pop these abilities at roughly the same time. Desyncing is where you end up sending too many Storm Earth and Fire, so you don't have Storm Earth and Fire up for your big window that you have to send at 1 minute 30, otherwise you're delaying that. So that's what I mean by desync. Because this sends abilities on cooldown, if it sends like one of these at the wrong time, you're desynced forever. Like, if you keep pressing this one button macro, like, you cannot resync yourself, because the moment it comes back up, it will just continue desyncing it. So unless there's like natural downtime in the dungeon, which allows you to get back on par, you are in trouble. So that feels bad. That's pretty bad. It has awful spinning crane kick practice. So if for some reason spinning crane kick doesn't act, it will not press spinning crane kick unless you have a certain amount of targets around you. I think it's 5. But the biggest issue, and that's fine when you think about like just baseline, spinning crane kick, blackout kick, what to press as your filler. I'd go with 3, but 5's still okay, I'll allow it. The biggest issue is that when you have 1 stack of Dance of the Chi-Ji, which you press in single target, on a single target boss, you will press this button. It will not press it. It will not press it if there aren't enough targets around. It does not matter. It does not care. It will let this stack just drop off. So essentially, I think I maybe lose like 20 to 30 Dance of the Chi-Ji procs throughout a dungeon. Just because it drops off naturally. If you don't get if it gets to 2 stacks, it will send 1, which is good. That's smart. It doesn't seem to do that with 1. It doesn't understand. So that's essentially teaching people that if it's at 1 stack, you don't have to worry about it. Just 2 stacks is all that matters. So that's kind of rough. Oh, yeah, I don't like that Storm, Earth, and Fire is always its first suggestion, regardless of chi. So usually when you start off, you want to start with about 4 chi most of the time in most situations, because it means that when you're in your big burst windows, you have enough chi to play with, so you're not handicapped. No matter what, this thing always starts with Storm, Earth, and Fire. Pretty much. The moment you go to an ad, it will be like, Storm, Earth, Fire is the first button you press, and boss. Which means you're instantly sending your cooldowns. No prep, no build-up, no nothing. It's just not good. It's not good opener practice. You basically, it starts off straight away with a bad end opener. It should start with at least a Tiger Palm and then go into your cooldowns, and then I'd be fine with Storm, Earth, and Fire being like the second one, and that'd be fine for Shadow Pan, and that'd be fine enough for Conduit. It just doesn't do that. It instantly will send out Storm, Earth, and Fire. So this is like, by default, we can tell that Storm, Earth, and Fire is your highest priority ability of anything that this APL thinks. So that's not great. That's just bad opener practice. We had a little bit at the look at the highlight thing. I think the highlight thing's okay, but I mean, I was really nitpicking here, but I think the highlights were really subtle. Like, it's a super light blue color that doesn't flash or anything. So unless like I can literally just turn it on real quickly. If I can find it. And then we go edit mode. So look. Oh, did that not turn it on? Huh? Hello? Oh, it's this highlight. So you can see it's this light blue color, yeah? Like this kind of like light blue color. And that's not like, you'd think that's not too bad, but in like the heat of the moment when you're looking, I press Storm, Earth, and Fire. The biggest issue is that it doesn't flash when it goes to the next ability. I can't see it because I'm hiding my bars because I'm not playing on the right thing. But the idea was basically that it's not great because it doesn't flash. So I'm constantly having to find which button it wants me to press next. Like, I have to literally look really hard to see which one's next highlighted. Like, alternatively, you can just use the one button macro icon, and that will technically tell you. So now I know Rising Sun Kick is what it wants me to press next, and that could be a way to learn through not pressing the singular button. So that's kind of good. What I hated the most was that it doesn't have any integration with the cooldown manager. These are meant to be, like, you'd think, right, that these are meant to be, like, working together, yeah? Like, their gameplay enhancements, they're next to each other, their combat assistance and cooldown manager. I would imagine that the assisted highlight should highlight my cooldown manager, right? Because these are the buttons I want to see. They want me to stop using Lockstos, yeah? They don't want me to use Lockstos, they want me to use this. Well, at least have the implication where if it highlights on my add-on bars, it highlights on my cooldown manager, no? I don't know if I'm just being blind and I can't see the option, but it will not highlight these. So essentially, what's the point? Basically, if I want to use the highlight manager, I have to have my add-on bars and my cooldown manager, and at that point, it's just like, well, what the fuck are we doing? So that's like kind of nitpicky, I guess. I just think they could maybe make it like you know when you get a proc and then the icon lights up yellow, and it's really super obvious that you've just got a proc. If they could do something like that for the highlight button, like even if it like just glows a little bit brighter or shines, that makes it obvious, then I'm not squinting trying to find which is my next button that it wants me to press to learn. And also integration with the cooldown tracker, because if they want me to use the cooldown tracker, at least make these two work together, right? Otherwise, what am I doing? Too much Rising Sun Kick prio as well, I think. It loves using Rising Sun Kick with Conduit and Shadow Pan, even when you don't want to be Rising Sun Kicking, so I guess the priority of Rising Sun Kick's just a little bit too high. So it sounds like there's a lot of bad to it, but I don't hate it. I think it's good. I think there's like, it has potential for good like learning, and like the fundamentals and stuff are quite there. Like it teaches you how to do the mastery. Like it never presses the same button twice. Thumbs up. But I think it teaches you a lot of bad habits, and so if you're using this for accessibility reasons, or you just want to chill out and run a dungeon and not think, then whatever, fine. But if you're literally using this to learn, which I guarantee a lot of players will be doing, they'll be using this to learn. They'll see there's this assistant that's going to help me learn a rotation of a spec that I've never played before. Well, it's actually going to teach you a lot of bad habits that then you're going to get used to, and then once you eventually stop using the one button macro, you're not going to have the right fun, like, you're going to do the wrong things, and then you'll be confused why like your damage is still like on the lower end when you're not using the macro, and then you have to relearn. You basically have to relearn. So I think there's like some simple integration changes and stuff that they could do with the priority, but overall I think it's like a good start. Yeah, from like a learning side of things, I think there's a lot good with it. There's also a lot of things that are bad with it. Yeah, those are my thoughts. Those are my like overall thoughts on the entire thing. I think, yeah, like I don't, like I've said it tons of times. I don't care about what damage it does. All I care about is, can I learn playing a spec? If I never played Windwalker in my life and I was doing this one button rotation to learn, am I going to be able to play Windwalker afterwards without this? The answer is yes, but I'm going to make so many mistakes. I'm going to make so many mistakes that I might as well not use this button and go watch a Windwalker POV guide video instead and learn like that. lol. But you know what I mean, right? Like, there's, like, you're not really learning a lot of things that you need to know. But yeah, anyway, there's not much more I can go into it with that. What belt prop did you go with? So for the belts, if you missed it, you want to get... Oh, I can't use it because I'm inside of a thing. I will get back to you, Hamp. I haven't forgotten you, don't worry. It's just the Galliwix thing is going to take like a hot minute or two. Also, my UI is so scuffed. We're going back to bartender, actually, but I'm so done with this shit. I cannot deal with non-bartender. Please, my eyes are broken. I'm not going to play any more of the one-button macro today. It's just, I played with it quite a lot, to be honest. So we're going back to regular. Let me get rid of this horrible stuff as well. Ew, get it off my screen. Cool. Delve belt. So we have the Delve belt. If you do the quest line, you'll get charged bolts and cauterized bolts. Charge bolts, so these two come normally. They come natty with just completing the quest chain. Charge bolts is you're going to be abyssed for a single target. So think lock and stock, for instance. Pretty much like the only fight you'll ever use this on. Maybe Mugsy, actually. That's pure single target to an extent. But you'd also want to use this on like light ad cleave. So think fights like Galliwix, for instance. It has relatively light ad cleave, but a lot of boss, like single target boss, or maybe like Vexy, for instance, that has like a lot of single target boss damage, but also like some ads that spawn every so often. Charge bolt is probably going to be best. When it comes to AoE, like M+, or fights like Styx Bunk Junkier, great example. Spark Burst or Electric Current are the two that you want. You get this one from Fungal Folly, which is a delve, and you get this one from that delve at the top of the Spider Zone. Yep. Both of these are viable, but it's going to have to be simmed. Because one of them gives you haste, one of them gives you mastery. Currently, the one that gives you maybe mastery is better for me, but potentially the one that gives haste, it might be better for your character. It's going to be on a character-by-character basis, depending on what your current stats are at the time. But to get all of this and to complete your disc for the week, like your belt for the week, 20 minutes. 20 minutes in and out, quick Rick and Morty adventure. And then every week, it's going to be like Cersei's Circlet, where you do a singular quest or something in a delve, and you upgrade it to item level. But pretty much, this is already an upgrade for me. If it's an upgrade for me, I'm going to probably assume it's going to be an upgrade for you. Because it starts at 691, so its item level's already the highest in the game of any item. And it's only going to get better, right? Kind of like Cersei's, where Cersei's was pretty much BIS week 1 to almost, if you could have the right sockets on it. This is going to be BIS from week 1, unless like something terrible has gone wrong with your stat weights or something like that. Unless you're rocking like 200% mastery and like 100% haste, but not possible. But you know what I mean. Okay. Let's see. Mechanics still being done. Optimizing damage also helps with progression. Do you have save cooldowns for the ads? Yeah, okay, so our boy Galley, our boy G-Wix is what we were interested in. Look at this dude. So realistically, I play the fight still the... Why am I in slow-mo right now? Jesus, what do I do with this video? Also, quality, hello? I basically play this fight the exact same way. So we do the opener, right? I do the fight the exact same way, still week, 12 now. So this is all fine. What I really care about is the ad set. So we get to the ad set, 20 stacks of lightning. What we're going to do, we're going to send, make sure we hit all the targets. And then I also send out the second Storm, Earth, and Fire at the start here. I send it out during the initial fight, basically, because I still want damage on the boss, but I also want to make sure I get some on the ads here. And then Touch of Death, you want to try Touch of Death every single ad set that you can. I'm pretty sure it's like every other ad set, roughly around that. And then Bing chilling. So, second ad set, what I do is I will send out Strike of the Windlord, but you can see my cooldowns are about 15 seconds still, 15 seconds. If I wait all this time and then send my cooldowns the moment I can, the big issue arises is that Galliwix does the frontal, but he also does the rockets. And if you get the rockets, well, it's good practice to move out the group so you don't kill your team. You never want to get the rockets during your cooldowns. That fucking sucks. That is not fun at all. So this is the only time in the fight that I actually hold cooldowns, just to make sure I don't get that overlap. So it literally delays my cooldowns by, like, what, 10 extra seconds? As well as that, I actually hold Crackling Jade Lightning here until I can guarantee that I'm going to hit all 4. So until I know that I can actually hit Gallywix, I don't send it, because you have so much time between this lightning and the next one. So the moment Gallywix is in range, just so I can get that extra 1 target, makes sense to send it. And then, see, I don't get the rockets on me. The moment I confirm or deny if I get the rockets on me, I send. I'll jump over to this side, and we'll send. I actually send it a little bit faster these days than I did in this video, but I send here, and now we're basically sending on cooldown. Yada, yada, yada. We send on cooldown. Now, this is important. Remember how we said you want to lightning 20 stacks every ad set? The only way to truly guarantee you do this efficiently and get, like, good value out of it is the moment you can hit these ads, you send it. So the moment you're safe, you send it. So this is the one set you don't wait for Gallywix. Because what we're doing is we're trying to guarantee the moment we get this ad set, because you can see even now, I sent it early, I'm on 16 stacks. I need to guarantee I hit as many of these ads as possible, right? So once again, the goal here is also to make sure that I say Fist of Fury here, right, don't I? So even though Fist of Fury's up, I don't send it. And I do this a lot now as well, is I don't send Fist of Fury for this entire time till the ads spawn, and then we send everything. So I guarantee I always have a Strike, a Fist of Fury, a Lightning, and ideally some Spinning Crane Kick procs as well for this ad set here, because this is the one you can absolutely milk. It's one of the largest ad sets, and Gallywix is in it as well, you know? Like, you just want to get as much value from this as possible. And then you see cooldowns coming up. Actually, I lied. I said I don't hold. I do technically hold here. I hold the moment I can go back in, then I send again. So there are some slight holds, but I never send cooldown. I don't hold for the next ad set, right? Which I imagine is what you were asking to an extent. Is, am I going to hold my cooldowns for the next mini ad set? And the answer is no. Because you'll essentially lose cooldowns throughout the entire fight. And that ad set dies so quickly now anyway, that you're only going to get a certain amount of abilities off on it, to be honest. I think I scuffed this one in this video, but the idea is to try and have a Strike of the Windlord ready, 20 stack Lightning, Fist of Fury, and a Spinning Crane Kick proc. Like, these are the things I'm trying to get ready for this, because these are the only things I'm going to be able to cast, and that's enough. These ads die so fast that this is all I really care about having up for this. Like, if you had Zuin and you had Storm, Earth, and Fire, these ads last like 5-6 seconds. Like, you're just not, like, on progress like this, these ads will last a lot longer, but nowadays with all the damage buffs and stuff, these things get minced. Like, the ads are dead at this point, usually when I'm killing them, so I'm sure it'll be about the same for you. I completely scuffed this entire thing up. I should have sent Lightning out way earlier, but this is quite an old kill video. On top of that, and then it's literally send cooldowns on cooldown, except when suppression's coming out. Remember how I said that I send cooldowns on cooldowns? Yeah, that was the fattest lie I've ever told in my entire life. I actually wait for the bombs to come out. The moment I know if bombs are on me or not, I send. This is troll. You do not have to do this, and you actually can stand over here and still hit the boss. So this is absolutely troll. This is just because it was prog, right? But I should have sent cooldowns here. So this is where the video gets a little bit like scuffed. Cooldowns should have been sent. I should be stood in this corner over here, hitting the boss with my cooldowns. So I've delayed them here, and then you basically once we're in P2, send on cooldown the moment it's safe to, right? When there's no suppression. And then I guess the last thing is this ad set here. Once again, I'm just making sure I have a 20 stack Lightning. Strike of the Windlord as well. You can see it's about to come off cooldown and Fist of Fury. This is all I really care about. Once again, it's the same thing, right? No major cooldowns, but my mini cooldowns I care about, like mini heart window to the maximum. And then it's just essentially, Strike of the Windlord into Lightning into Fist of Fury to get as much damage. But like in terms of like Zuin and Storm, Earth, and Fire, I don't pad on these ads. It's just unnecessary. You'll get about the same amount of damage up as you do just sending out Lightning with your mini heart window. And then it's just basically rinse and repeat. So yeah, this video is like a little bit outdated because I definitely don't play at that potato. Does that kind of make sense? Yeah, no worries, dude. Yeah, I think the big thing there was if you get the massive bomb on you, and no one else in your quadrant has it, go to the very corner where you can still hit the boss, because there is room for players to stand. Like, don't do what I did. I think because it was prog at that point and we'd hit P2 like maybe 5 times, all I cared about was not wiping my group, right? But Gallowix is such a massive hitbox that you can actually be really greedy to an extent with your positioning. So that's still how I play this fight to the day. I'm just obviously I've had more practice on it, so I feel more comfortable playing it. That's 100% how I still play the fight. Also, thank you for following Kex King and Retartan Duty. Interesting name. Retartan? Is that allowed? Can I say that? Where are we at? Alright, I think it's M plus time. Oh, dear Christ, no. Please, M plus. To do M plus, I think we're going to do one dungeon. I think one dungeon is what I have time for. And it's going to be a 19 bad boy. We're going to go deplete our 19 real quickly. Spoiler alert, not using the one button macro for it. Might come as a surprise, but I'm actually going to play this dungeon with buttons that I have keybound. I know. Kind of cringe, but that's life, baby. But first, we're about to get Ive Kazan in my vault and a... I don't know, let's say we get a Jaster's Diamond as well. We're also going to get a House of Cards. All three. I mean, it's not actually a bad vault. I don't need any of this. I might actually take Mr. Lockenstalk, which sounds weird. But I think there's a world where this can actually be quite good for Shadow Pam. But I need to do some testing on it. So yeah, that's what we're going to take. Don't read into this too much. I'm not, like, yeah, don't read into this too much. This is just for science. My own personal science on the side. I need to get rid of this horrible button in the middle of my screen. This. Class bar 3. Get that shit off. And then we need to make sure that we actually have our keybinds correct for Tiger Palm, because that's what we removed. What do we get? We got a 19 Cinder Brew. Oh no. That is a terrifying dungeon. That is actually really scary. Okay, we have 19 Cinder Brew, probably the second, third hardest dungeon to complete. We have done an 18, but I timed it with 0.1 second left or something stupid like that. 1 second on the clock. In terms of the belt, we do need to get an enchant for this, actually. We need to... What do we need to stick on? We need a versatile emerald. Do I have one? No. A Versi-E. Versatile? Versatility? Versi-M? Yeah, we'll get a versatile emerald. And then we'll go deplete a 19 Cinderbrew. It's been a while since I've been in Cinderbrew. I remember having bad memories there. I'm sure it'll be fine. Look, on the plus side, look, we've got a brand new belt. We're going to do more damage. We'll be fine. Like, what could go wrong? Like, increase mastery by 327 every 2 seconds up to a maximum of 3,924. That's pretty good, right? That's like a shitty version. That's like a shitty version of House of Cards on my belt. I guess it's kind of... I guess it's okay. In your opener, do you try to have 10 stacks of Fist of Fury for your heart window? No, I don't, Jake. When it comes to things like the 10 stacks of Fist of Fury and stuff, they're one of the things with Windwalker that you don't even pay attention to that. We have a lot of passive things like that, where you have like passive stacks and stuff. And transfer the power, which is what gives you the stacks, it's just something that you don't have to worry about at all. So at no point am I ever looking at like how many stacks of Fist of Fury I'm on. I will send this at 2. I will send it at 7. I will send it at 10. I will send it at 1. Yeah, you just don't ever have to worry about what number stacks you're on for Fist of Fury. It's just not something you need to track. It just, if you have Luxtos, for instance, it will track it for me, but it's not something I ever pay attention to. And you should never hold for like higher stacks. Always send Fist of Fury when you can send Fist of Fury, pretty much within reason. It's just yeah, yeah. Don't worry too much about it. Never hold Fist of Fury for more stacks, basically. Is Crafted Ring better than Cersei's Circlet? It depends. Generally, no. Generally, if you craft a ring, it's probably likely to be a DPS loss. For me, this was a DPS loss, but I value the stamina and versatility a bit more than I do the extra damage. And we're only talking like 5k damage or 10k damage. Damage that is so minimal that for high-end M+, survivability outweighs that a million times percent for me. Like, I value survivability so much more. So losing 10k damage to guarantee I don't die on a boss or I don't die to a, you know, frontal. Wait, no, I shouldn't be stood in frontals. I don't get hit by like a lightning bolt or something. I'll take that every day. But technically speaking, it is technically a damage loss for me. It might be a damage increase for you. It might be character by character basis, and the amount of difference will vary. But generally speaking, it is going to probably be a DPS loss, but we're not talking a lot. But I run it for the extra versatility, so I can... Oh. Oh. What the fuck is going on here? What in the shit has happened to my World of Warcraft? You seeing this? You seeing my green boxes? GPU brick, GG, go again, go next. What is this? What is this? Yeah, we're gonna exit the game now real quickly. Bro, I saw green boxes and I thought to myself, GPU dead, it's over. Oh, but no, I think I've had that one before. Yeah, we'll just update. We'll just update. I'm not BIS backing. I'm just opening up my Battle.net without giving away my email. Lol. Lol. No email for you. I did update my add-ons earlier. I guess it just didn't like something that I did. Oh well, we'll just go again. I'm sure it'll be fine. New patch, new tricks. Try reload, fixed it for me. Okay, if it happened for you, I like that. That's good. That means it's not just me that has the problem. Like, do you ever have like a problem with something, and then you Google it, and then it looks like nobody else in the world has ever had your problem, and you're like, fuck, my life is over. But as long as I can find at least a couple of people that have also had my problem, then I'm like, oh, it's not too bad. At least other people are suffering, so we're good. It's not just a me thing. It's not just a me thing. I like that. It's a lot. Reload UI should fix that. Yeah. I mean, I could have just done a slash reload, but I just quit the game and started again. Save. No idea what caused that. I think I tried to drag the button off my bars. I haven't seen one of those for ages. I just saw green squares and instantly thought GPU bricked. That's not great. We are going to hide the belt transmog, though. I kind of like the belt, and I think it will go well with some transmogs, just not my transmog. Like, it is a nice-looking belt. It's going to look good on, like, some priest or something. Some priest is going to go so hard with this, but me, no, it just doesn't work. Me, I prefer a rope belt, you know? Oh, yeah, a nice little rope belt. Alright, because it's a 19... I don't think I can take anybody under 3700. I don't even think 3700. I think 3700's too low. I can't do that. Okay, fine. 3619 it is. I mean, no one can have less score than me, right? That's like just... And then 675. Oh, have I gained item level? Oh, no, I thought it might be 684. Not yet. And we're going to go physical. We're going to go for the physical comp here. The only downside to this is the skips are pretty rough. But we'll see. Or there's a forum post from 10 years ago with the body of got it working, thanks, with no info on how. Yeah, those are the worst ones. Where, or even like worse is when like you find the problem, they've made a post about it, and you click on it because it's the exact same thing, and then down in the comments they'll say like something like, "Yeah, I got it fixed. I fixed it. Or problem solved." But they literally won't tell you how they did it. It's just fucking like, what? Why have you done this? Oh, the shaman. I can't invite them. It doesn't say they've got any M plus done, which is obviously a lie, but I can't vet them, right? Is crafted ring better than Cersei's circlet for raiding? We just went through that, Ranzao. What the hell? TLDR, it is technically more damage, but survivability, it's less survivability. I guess. So it depends. Oh, that's alright, dude. Yeah, less survivability because obviously lower eye level, but technically it's more damage. But we're talking very minimal damage, so it depends what you value more. I value survivability at the moment because of M plus. In the raid, I'd probably value Cersei's a bit more because if you're dying in the raid with all the external buffs that we have, you're probably dying to something that would one-shot you anyway. Or your healers are not healing you. You know, something along those lines. Something that basically you can't really stop yourself dying to at this point. So yeah, you don't have to feel the need to be forced to craft because it's not going to be and even if it is a DPS increase, it's not going to be massive, or a DPS loss, it's not going to be massive. It's just the question of, do you want more survivability or a little bit more damage? We're going to take the Resto Shaman. They cancelled. I love it. Good game. Should I be concerned that no one's signing up to my 19 dungeon? Alright, we'll take the Enhance Shaman. We can take the Priest. They've got good credentials. I'm trying to think about how. I'm trying to think about how we do this, because you have to do the skips, right? I'm the new Mistweaver? I don't know what that means. I don't know what that means. Ah, Feral. Okay, Feral is what we want. So we're gonna play like this. I'm just waiting for the exact comp I want. And we want Feral. Because we're all gonna go melee. Lol. Good luck on the bosses that require you to go ranged. Yeah. Good fun. Rot. Oh god, the priest just said not this druid. What does that mean? Oh. Okay. He baited. He joined and then he left. Feels weird, man. Feels weird. Yeah, I need the prot warrior. So the only thing I'm thinking about Cinderbrute is how do we do the skips? Like this skip's fine over here. You can literally just paralysis it, or you could have a rogue. We could technically take a rogue, right? Like an outlaw rogue or something. Yeah, we take an outlaw rogue or something if one of them pops up, and then we can do this skip easily. It's just this one over here. The biggest issue is even if you have a warrior that has Nelf, they can never deal with the scientist. So I have to paralysis the scientist, I guess. Or maybe I guess the rogue could sap it. Would that work? Will he get too close with the sap and then get seen by the hobgoblins? Oh, I don't know. I don't know if you can get close enough to sap. Because I can just about get close enough to paralysis. Yeah, I know you can power ring a piece of scientist and the goblin move with it. I'm aware of this. It just never works. It just never works the way I want it to. It always goes wrong. But I'm sure it'll go fine in my 19. Can't possibly go wrong in my 19. Right. Let's go practice it real quick. You can paralysis and ring a... Yeah, guys, I'm aware. I know you can do this. But that means I have to do it. I'll show you what that's going to look like. Hold on. I'll show you exactly how this is going to go. Oh, it's going to be great. I've seen Monksy and Cap the... guys, yeah. Guys. Oh, I know. I'm very aware of this skip. I also need to check my buttons work as well, because I've been playing the one-button macro. I don't remember how to play this game anymore. Do I have to kill everything? Can I just pull the boss? Wait, we can probably just pull the boss, right? Oh, I need to pull him back a bit further. It's to be a bar fight, then. No! No, he's gonna phase! No! Okay, we got him. That's fine. Don't worry about what's going on in here. It does fail about half the time because it doesn't bounce. I mean, that's the issue I have with it, is... Like, it works... Like, it can work 100%. But the issue is that I'm not very good at it. Or I haven't done it enough. I've never done it in an actual dungeon. Let's put it that way. Warrior? Ah, I don't want a Demon Hunter. There's no point. Otherwise, I might as well just run a meta comp. As well as that, there's also another issue, and that's teammates. Like, the teammates cannot go into aggro. I feel like people don't play enough with Windwalkers to know, like, what the aggro range of paralysis is. Anyway, we'll practice it. We'll practice it. Alright, so the scientist has to be about here, actually. That's perfect. And then you ring a piece it that way. And then I've aggroed it, and GG. Dungeon's over. Alright, I'm gonna have to do this again, then. See what I mean, though? Like, very easy to fuck up, because I'm bad at this game. Very easy to completely screw up, because I suck at this video game. Don't worry, we'll go again. We're gonna get it right. I have to wait for a warrior anyway, so I have time to kill. Don't let my teammates know what's going on here. They don't need to know. So I think I knocked it... Oh. Okay, well that was kind of perfect timing. I guess we're going to lose the enhancement shaman for a paladin. But he left. He left, and then a tank and someone signed up. I mean, theoretically... So they're Nelfs, but they need me to do this. I think it has to be here, actually, now I think about it. So once it's here... And then ring a piece it that way. And then run back this way. And then hug this wall so tight. And we did it! Okay, so this tile over here is how we do it then. But I need everybody in my group, because if they're, like, even this close, right, it's over. But I'm sure it'll be fine. I'm sure it'll be fine. I'm sure it'll be fine. We don't have Bloodlust. I didn't think about that. Ah, do we need Bloodlust? Probably not. Nah, I'll be fine. Bloodlust? Bloodlust overrated. In case you didn't know, you can power around and ring a piece to scientist. Thanks, Jeff. Thanks, Jafka. I appreciate it. Guys, I had to kick the priest. I feel bad. I also spelled sacrifices wrong. He's not wrong. We probably do need Bloodlust. It's because initially I had the shaman right in the group. I feel bad for the priest because they were here for a while, but he is correct. We do need the shaman for this sort of comp. The priests are doing fine if we still have the shaman and got a warrior, but we didn't get that. We got the warrior with the ret, so lol. No, you can't just sign back up. No, you don't just sign back up. Like, sacrifices had to be made. He can get close enough with distract. It's fine. I'll do it. I'll do it. Let me look at this. I'll tell them what I'll do. G19. Suggested someone. What is this group? Why is the rogue offline now? Oh my god. What are they? I can't tell how many dungeons they've done. I mean, can you do it? Yeah. Sorry, I'm discussing very important tactics right now with my group.
I have many lucky doos you like.
This guy's a meeting in 20 minutes. You can't just invite someone that has a meeting in 20 minutes. Oh. This is gonna go so bad. I know it's gonna go so. Where's Vildy? Where's Vildy when you need him? Vildy would have carried this. I need to get boosted. I can't wait till the 18 Cinderbrew. It's gonna be sick. So power I pull back and you do your ring when you move. Are there no shamans? Boring part of the game. Yeah, this is the boring part of the game. Remember when we got the cool new belt earlier today and we tested out the one button macro? That was pretty fun, right? It'll get more exciting once we're in the Cinderbrew. It's just trying to form a group. I'm very surprised that there's no healers. I thought people like 19s. Is that crazy? Is that a hot take? I mean, good luck on me doing this Ring of Peace skip, if we even get there, but I don't see why not. I mean, I've already timed 2 19s, so that, like, signifies that I know how to play this game, right? Kind of. Not really. I got boosted, but we don't talk about that. We've got a brand new belt today that does damage. Surely I'm just going to do, like, tons of damage. It's going to be so cool. But we really need a shaman for this, and I'm surprised that no shamans are signing up. I thought 19s were pretty hot content. You tell me there isn't a single resto shaman in the entirety of Europe that wants to do a 19 Cinderbrew. I don't believe you. I'm not buying what you're selling. Have I played with a single Prez Evoker this season? Probably not, no. Maybe like once. Maybe once because I played with a lot of spec. I can't invite the priest. We have to have the shaman. It feels bad. Feels bad, man. Unless I just don't go physical comp. Thoughts. Just go meta comp for my Cinderbrew. What is the meta comp for Cinderbrew? Oh, never mind. Thoughts. Yeah, I probably played with like a Preservoker once or so. In fact, I think I remember. I have a memory of them popping down this red circle, and I was like, "What the fuck is this? I hate it. It's an annoying visual." So yes, I probably have. I don't remember how the dungeon went. It was probably like a super low key. They're definitely popping up a bit more, but I think they've been dead for a while, no? I think they're the worst healer, right? Aren't they like just in the graveyard chilling? They're basically not having a good time. That's what I'm trying to say. All right, 19 Cinderbrew. Has everybody got their belts? All right, belt check. He's got his belt. Good. Belt check. Doesn't have his belt. Bad. Belt check. Doesn't have his belt. Bad. Belt check. Has his belt. Good. No, you don't need this belt. I probably don't even know if it's good for any of these classes. Who knows, honestly. I promise we ain't gonna deplete the key because we don't got no belts. So the one thing we're missing here is the feral druid. 2 or 3 muscle. I don't know. Three for sure. Oh, cool. Okay, we're gonna do 3. 3 for sure. We're dead. GG. Yeah, so I was saying we don't have feral. We have paladin instead. I think paladin's pretty good. Obviously. The downside of not having a feral is we don't have the extra versatility, which is always nice. But I think paladins... What do paladins even bring? Oh, devotion aura. Oh, I mean, they have devo aura, actually. I guess versatility is more than just damage reduction, though, but... I saw a video of someone healing a 19 prior as preservation. The guy kept insisting that it's a good spec after the buffs they got, but I'm not sure if it was just cope. Well, it's like me doing plus 19 and saying, guys, Windwalker's good, play it. Alright, so I'm doing this skip over here. Lol. We can just stealth this one, so that's fine. Where's G2? Oh, don't ninja G2. Alright, well, good luck. Let's hope this key goes alright. I mean... It can't go that badly, right? It's only a plus 19 Cinderbrew. Am I actually ready? Yeah, I think so. Oh, no. It's wrong.
5.
Are paladins fixed? Their hero talents have been bugged? I have no idea. I hope they're not bugged. Or if they are bugged, I hope they're bugged in a good way that does more damage. All I know is that paladins are decent damage. Paladins are good damage now. We marking a muscle? Okay, we've marked some muscle. We in the right... We got the right build? Shit, probably not something I should check when we start the dungeon. Tell them what we got on tap, Alzire. Sir, the muscle that is tiger that's prior is nowhere near dead. Thoughts? Oh, I'm doing 22 million, guys. I'm fucking juicing. I died. Oh, I saw it as well. I just die here, right? Oh, I was juicing as well. If I got clipped by something. I'm just stupid. Oh, these muscles are up for just too long, right? Yeah. Ah, rest in peace, 19. I did 22 million. Oh my god, I'm so good. Ah, I knew it was too many muscles. I knew it was too many muscles. Ah, I needed the enhanced charm. Oh, they're still going. Right, okay. London's over, but okay. Oh, that's such a shame. It's just too much damage. It's just not possible. Oh, I'm trying to think if it would have made a difference if I died or not. I mean, me dying wasn't great. There's a severe lack of damage. Oh, understandable. There's a severe lack of damage. Interesting, interesting. I thought my damage was quite good, to be honest. I mean, I didn't think it was bad. It was bad once I died, but I was like doing 22 million on the first pull. I don't think I've ever done 22 million on the first pull of this dungeon. Uh-oh. I mean, I don't think we can keep going. I'm very surprised people are still pulling. I don't know when the outlaw starts doing more damage. I think soon. Soon.tm. Oh, we didn't get fists off. This has just gone bad. I'm completely out of the mindset now of doing well in this dungeon. I need to get back into it. Alright, we should be able to use cooldowns on the next pack. But like, we're 5 deaths in. I think I'm literally 3 of them, which is pretty funny. Yeah, I literally am 3 of them. Okay, we're pulling Aldria. Good luck, us. What's on tap, Aldryer? Can't see anything. Floor is lava. Great. Bro, there's so much damage. This is actually absurd. Oh. Oh, it's a shit. It's just that initial pull, right? Like, this is fine now. But this is such a tight dungeon. It's why I semi-gave up the moment I died for my 3rd death. So I know how tight this dungeon is to time. I don't even think it's timeable. No, I mean, yeah, I just shouldn't have stood in that circle. I literally clipped it. I was looking at the other circle, basically, was the issue. And then I was just stood inside one. Just a complete mistake. You know what would stop me making that mistake? If I had a 1-button macro that I didn't have to look at or think about my abilities for. Sir, you meant to be pulling this? I'm gonna say yes. Show 'em what's on tap, Aldryer. No, I mean, I just can't, like, okay, I guess I'm over here. I don't think I've been hit by these clouds in years, but sure. Oh, I'm playing so bad. Can diffuse that. Why are we playing so close to these clouds? Ah, please! Oh, what do I have for this? Nothing. I'm so dead. It's a lie. I'd bought Fighting Brew. I think I'll be fine. If I get hit by another one, then I'm dead. Okay, Paladin dead. Oh my god. Show him what's on tap, old dry. I got the dot again. I am dead here. Right, surely. I have to health pot, maybe Soothing Mist. Keeps me alive. Yeah, just about. But we lost a lot of time here. On the plus side, I've had cooldowns for every single set on the boss. That's pretty cool, right? I like that. That kind of feels like really good. Like, getting cooldowns for every single phase. That is insane. Like, usually you get it for just 2. Talk about DPS uptime. It'll be interesting. It's going to be... Actually, I was going to say, I wonder how much my belt is like, how much damage I'm getting off my belt, but it's like one of those things that's... I'm dead, right? No, almost. It's one of those things that's like really hard to tell, because it just gives you stats. And when like something just gives you stats, like how do you tell? Oh, healer dead. Oh, he's back. Oh, rogue dead. Oh, he's back. Show him what's on tap, old dryer. Yeah, that's that. Oh.
Are you here to help? My zeal to get back in business led to faulty.
Can I look at pool 1?
Your pal here signed some papers. And now Goldie Baron
I'm looking at the hired... All I care about is hired muscle. Yeah, I mean, all about the same damage.
Help me, please.
I guess just no, like, pure funnel. I shouldn't have died, though. That was so cringe. What are my thoughts on Blizzard gussing all add-ons for Midnight? I don't know. I don't really have any hot takes on it. I guess all I care about is if they can implement them into the... I mean, obviously they want to bake a lot of their things into the game itself, as we can see from, like, cooldown manager, you know, one-button assistance, all that sort of stuff, highlighting abilities. They want to, like... They look like they're trying to bake a lot of their things into the actual game itself, which is cool. So if they can do that, well, that's nice. Do I think they're going to do it? Probably not. I mean, do I think they'll do it well? Probably not. And that will be the issue, right? Like, it really depends. Because if they, like, got add-ons to an extent, but they keep raids as difficult and M plus as difficult, then you're going to see a significant decrease in, like, success. Because a lot of these things are, like, really important for being able to do certain things. Like, you try to do a raid without weak auras. It is blimmin' hard. So if the difficulty stays as it is, like, because raid bosses and stuff are built to an extent around weak aura usage, and add-on usage, so unless they, like, simplify them a little bit, I could see the first tier being extremely insanely hard. But it depends. Like, what they could do that would be cool is if they're going to remove an add-on, let's say they remove add-on X, because they want to implement add-on X into their game, what would be cool is if they then hired the creators of add-on X to help them bake it into their game, as they're pretty much basically taking that anyway. And then it'll be fine. Then it'll be done well because they know what they're doing. Because they made the add-on that they've been working on for, like, you know, 10 years or whatever. So I think that'd be a good way to do it. Are they going to do that? No, probably not. They'll probably just do it themselves and, like, fuck it up. But I don't know. It really depends how they do it. It could go down really well, but, like, more than likely, we're going to have, like, one tier that's going to be absolutely fucking ludicrously crazy. Everything's going to, like, be awful. And then eventually they'll start fixing it and stuff. You know, the usual Blizzard way, where, like, it will get fixed eventually, but initially it's going to be horrendous. And I don't know how bad that will be for the game, but we'll see. Anyway, that is it from me today. You know how it be. You know how it be. I mean, M Plus went bad, but you know that was bound to go bad. I think I'll probably be back on Friday. We'll do some more stuff on Friday. Cause I'm gonna try get like some videos out on the belt and stuff like that. Pretty much anything that I talk to stream. So if you've watched the stream, you already know what I'm gonna talk about. But that sort of jazz. Overall, I'm happy with the one button thing. I think it's got a lot of potential, but it needs a bit more implementation. Not even like, it's not even like a damage thing. Like, it needs to be better so it does more damage. It just needs to be better so that people can learn better. And then the belt is just really easy to get, guys. Like, genuinely, it'll take you 20 minutes to do. Cersei Circlet V2. Good passives on it. I mean, let's have a look. Oh, no, I can't really. We can have a look at the uptime, though. Electric current, 91% uptime, right? So 91% of the time, I was basically getting increased mastery. And let me tell you something, I blimmin' love mastery. So if that's not a bad uptime, I don't know what is. So constantly getting mastery, good. We like that. And it'll be the same for the haste. So definitely get yourself a Delph belt. It will be useful. But definitely sim which of the two that you want to use, spark burst or electric current, because it might change for you depending on your gear setup and stuff like that. Yeah. Thanks for tuning in. A little bit of a short one today, but we'll maybe pick up a bit more time on Friday. Yeah, thanks for tuning in, and hopefully catch you on Friday. Have a awesome reset day. Good luck in your vault, unless you've already opened your vault, in which case it was shit and now you're sad. Unlucky. I rely on weak auras a lot, so I'm nervous for it. A lot of people rely on weak auras a lot. You are not the only one. Look at my screen right now. Weak aura, weak aura or raid. Just look at this, right? Just look at that. Yeah. Everybody uses weak auras. Like, everybody uses weak auras, whether it's this much, whether it's more, whether it's less. Like, unless like you absolutely blimmin' hate weak auras, like most people will use some sort of weak aura. So it will affect everybody. It will definitely change the game. It'll be a massive change to the game. Like, probably one of the biggest changes to the game ever. Lol. Who knows? We'll just have to see how they do it. So it's gonna happen. Is it gonna be good? Or is it gonna be bad? I don't know. Hopefully it doesn't destroy the game. That would suck. So I kind of like World of Warcraft. Yeah, thanks for tuning in, and hopefully catch you on Friday. Have a lovely evening and Thursday. Bye-bye.